So you stumbled on the Napalm channel. Blown views, panel, killed and tremble. Smoke a camel, don't get anal. It's classic games all the time. Watch me rhyme, stream full time in my prime. Kill an undead like I'm Rick Grimes. Stream starting soon, so let's attune. Streams in the afternoon beneath the moon, let's commune. Getting old, need a spoon when I eat my prunes. I learned to group in Black Burrow, end up in the dunes. So hit the like and the sub and the bell. I don't smell pretty swell in the dungeons where I dwell. You'll be a fan, I foretell. Shoot a spell when I yell and be my clientele. Thank you to the members on YouTube and the subs on Twitch. Thank you all for joining the Nathan Napalm Nation. You help keep the lights on so I can keep streaming and pumping out content. I want to also thank the highest tier members for their epic support. Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Sparrow, Farthest Reach, Random Rob, Gallery Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Bad Wolf Gaming, Cobalt, Robert Daneka, Pip Pop, My Boot in Your Ass, The Crinkle One, Scruffy Bard, and Aaron Owen. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Support the Nathan Napalm with super chats or by clicking join to become a member of Napalm on YouTube or by subbing or with bits on Twitch. Every dollar helps feed a puppet for a day and keep Nathan on the air. Thank you all so much for your support. Stream is starting soon. Oh. So you stumbled on the Napalm channel. Blown views, panel, killed and tremble. Smoke a camel, don't get anal. It's classic games all the time. Watch me rhyme, stream full time in my prime. Kill an undead like I'm Rick Grimes. Stream starting soon, so let's attune. Streams in the afternoon beneath the moon, let's commune. Getting old, need a spoon when I eat my prunes. I learned to group in Black Burrow, end up in the dunes. So hit the like and the sub and the bell. I don't smell pretty swell in the dungeons where I dwell. You'll be a fan, I foretell. Shoot a spell when I yell and be my clientele. Thank you to the members on YouTube and the subs on Twitch. Thank you all for joining the Nathan Napalm Nation. You help keep the lights on so I can keep streaming and pumping out content. I want to also thank the highest tier members for their epic support. Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Sparrow, Farthest Reach, Random Rob, Gallery Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Bad Wolf Gaming, Cobalt, Robert Daneka, Pip Pop, My Boot in Your Ass, The Crinkle One, Scruffy Bard, and Aaron Owen. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Support the Nathan Napalm with super chats or by clicking join to become a member of Napalm on YouTube or by subbing or with bits on Twitch. Every dollar helps feed a puppet for a day and keep Nathan on the air. Thank you all so much for your support. Stream is starting soon. Oh. So you stumbled on the Napalm channel. Blown views, panel, killed and tremble. Smoke a camel, don't get anal. It's classic games all the time. Watch me rhyme, stream full time in my prime. Kill an undead like I'm Rick Grimes. Stream starting soon, so let's attune. Streams in the afternoon beneath the moon, let's commune. Getting old, need a spoon when I eat my prunes. I learned to group in Black Burrow, end up in the dunes. So hit the like and the sub and the bell. I don't smell pretty swell in the dungeons where I dwell. You'll be a fan, I foretell. Shoot a spell when I yell and be my clientele. Thank you to the members on YouTube and the subs on Twitch. Thank you all for joining the Nathan Napalm Nation. You help keep the lights on so I can keep streaming and pumping out content. I want to also thank the highest tier members for their epic support. Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Sparrow, Farthest Reach, Random Rob, Gallery Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Bad Wolf Gaming, Cobalt, Robert Daneka, Pip Pop, My Boot in Your Ass, The Crinkle One, Scruffy Bard, and Aaron Owen. Thank you for your highest tier membership. Support the Nathan Napalm with super chats or by clicking join to become a member of Napalm on YouTube or by subbing or with bits on. What is up, everybody? We are live with the second Nathan and Steve show. What's going on, guys? I'm joined, of course, by Steve.
Hey there. How you doing, guys?
We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of stuff happened since our last show. We got some things actually on here that was literally announced moments before we went live. So we got quite a bit to talk about. Yeah, so also me, what's up? What's up, Witcher? What's up, John Hill? Someone said there was cookies here. Is that true? Did we have cookies? I wasn't the producer.
I don't have any.
Producer didn't tell me about no cookies.
I could use some, I think.
Yeah,
I'd
so
take some.
That's a good point. Vowelless, no vowels. So on the Nathan and Steve show, my name is Nathan, and right below me here on camera is Steve. So that's how we came up with the name. If you want to hear the origin, was since my name is Nathan and his name is Steve, and we decided to do a show together, we decided to call it the Nathan and Steve Show.
It's a good name.
It's a pretty good name.
It's a good name.
I feel like it works.
Explains the show perfectly, I feel like.
I feel like it encapsulates the spirit of what we were going for.
Every time I see this guy's name in the chat, I just can't help but to read it as vowels, no vowels. Even though there's no vowels in it.
There's no vowels. That's the beauty of it.
My brain just wants to say it.
So let's kick it off with a little news here about start with this Final Fantasy legendary composer Nobuo Uematsu, if that's how you say his name. That's how I've always said it.
Yeah, Nobuo Uematsu, that's how I've always said it too.
We get it pulled up here for the audience to see. So apparently, Nobuo Uematsu, by the way, is the legendary composer from Final Fantasy and, all the classic Final Fantasies he did the music for. He really is a really
Chrono
good...
Trigger.
And Chrono Trigger. And
tons of other good stuff.
Blue Dragon, if I remember correctly, and that other RPG that they made on the Xbox, I can't remember the name of, even though I loved it.
Lost Odyssey.
Lost Odyssey. Ooh! What we got here? Wait a minute. Something just happened on Twitch. We got a little... Mujin wants to be taken to the city. Okay, so before we get into this real quick, I did update the city. So I am going to take you out of the city, but this is the updated going to the city. Oh, I do have OBS up. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. All right, there we go. So let's go to the city, and then we'll be back, and we'll talk about this Nobuo Uematsu news.
I'm a dog with the bone, I'm saying rough. Let me give it to you, baby, it will never be enough. Let me put my lips up to your ear, let me tell you something, dear. First I'm gonna, then I'm gonna, then I'm gonna grab you by your, then I'm gonna.
All right, we're back. So, Nobuo Uematsu, the celebrated composer behind the iconic soundtracks for much of the Final Fantasy series, has said he probably will not score a full video game again. He didn't rely...
Sad news.
That's really sad news, because he was my favorite person to make music in video games, to be honest.
Honestly, he needs... this sadly won't happen because the kind of world we're living in now, but... he should go down in history as a legendary composer, in my opinion. I know he wrote music to video games, but dude, his compositions are insanely good.
I agree. He's a master, dude.
He's legendary, in my opinion.
He's learned to evolve from 8-bit, all do-do-do-do, all the way up to full orchestrated masterpieces. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's wild if you think about it. And now he didn't say he's going to stop making music. He just said doing an entire soundtrack for the game. He probably isn't going to do. And he is old. That's right, Mr. C. I forget his age, but he almost died recently. I was really scared he was going to die. He didn't. He pulled through, thank God. But, he's getting older. He probably means it's a ton of work. He has to be involved deeply in the game's development to make the music really fit the mood and the scenes that he's creating it for. And I think...
plus, in the kind of games that he scored, that's a lot of music. It's not like scoring a film.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not like it's not like it's 15 to 20 soundtracks. We're talking about hundreds sometimes, in variations, because if you pay attention, especially in Uematsu's work, he'll have 50, maybe not 15, but 8 to 10 different versions of the same song to twist it to still remind you of the character's theme that it's for, but this time more sad for that scene, or this time maybe more action, or like he'll make like multiple versions of the same song that kind of twist the song to fit the specific theme. And I just think he's a very passionate guy who just realizes, like, I'm not gonna like do this and not put my all into it. Therefore, I'm not saying I won't make music for video games, but I'm not gonna get that involved, right?
Yeah, it might be like kind of like we might see things like with Final Fantasy X, for example, where he only did the like main track of the game,
Which is fine, and I'm happy. In a way, I'm happy he's doing it. What's the takeaway? Just get to 5 Nathan Napalm memberships, baby.
Holy mackerel!
Grando Reaper was gifted a membership. Mr. Cottleshire gifted a membership. Ross Gonsalves and Just Let Me Play and MZ. I think the music's like double playing. It sounds really crazy. Does it sound really crazy to you guys? This sounds absolutely nuts to me. I'm gonna do all of our dances. Dang. It is crazy? Yeah, that's real crazy. That's real crazy. It's really hard to dance to that because it's like it's like playing it like a half a second. Whew. Is that all of them? Is there another dance? This is crazy.
How many was that?
I don't know. I wasn't counting. I'm just waiting a couple seconds. Okay, I think that was it. Thank you so much. What's the takeaway for the great epic support, brother? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's really sad. I'm sad about it. But I'm also happy for him. I think he needed to do this.
I mean, he is getting old. You gotta let a man rest, you know? He's done enough work.
Yeah, 40 years, dude. 40 freaking years, dude. All right. Well, anyway, let's move on to the next news. That's pretty sad though. Sad and bittersweet, I think. It sucks to get old, man, and see these legendary people that are actually older than you. You know what I'm saying? I get old.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really sad.
We're getting there.
So this is really, I guarantee you, nobody has seen this news yet. This is breaking. I bet you nobody in chat knows about this.
This is nuts.
Let me get it pulled up here, guys. This is crazy. Breaking news. You're only going to find on the Nathan and Steve show. Here we go.
Right.
Breaking news. Michael Jackson resurrects to star in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh my
Rebirth.
gosh, can't believe this.
In an unprecedented turn of events, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, has seemingly risen from the dead to take on a surprising new role in the world of gaming.
I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to pause it right there.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson is going to be starring the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
This is nuts.
Now I'm confused because this is obviously a CGI of him, right? I'm assuming. Did they already say that?
They said he's resurrected.
He resurrected. Like, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is such a big deal.
Wait, dude, that's why it's called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
It's called Rebirth. We thought it was like Rebirth of the series. It meant Rebirth of Michael Jackson. Oh my gosh. Let's keep continuing with this news. Obviously, it's real. It's from CNN, so you know it's true.
Who passed away in 2009, is set to feature prominently in the highly anticipated Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Fans worldwide are in a frenzy following the shocking announcement by Square Enix, the creators of the iconic Final Fantasy franchise. Jackson's unexpected return has sparked both excitement and curiosity, with many wondering how the legendary entertainer will be integrated into the beloved RPG universe. Speculation is rife about the extent of Jackson's involvement in the game, with some sources suggesting that he will lend his voice to a key character, while others hint at a more immersive
Wait a minute. Hang on. We're going to go back to that. Hang on a second. We actually saw our first clip. Oh, I can't take it, dude. I can't take it.
Wow.
Oh my god. The photoshopping work on that, dude. It's so good.
I hope that's what it looks like in game.
Oh god. I can't take it. It's too much. It's too much. Oh my god, that was such a... Alright, let's keep going.
While others hint at a more immersive experience, potentially involving motion capture technology to bring his likeness to life in the virtual world of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh, so it is CGI, okay.
The announcement trailer released by Square Enix showcases glimpses of Jackson's unmistakable style and charisma, seamlessly blended into the fantastical landscapes and narrative of the Final Fantasy universe. However, details regarding his character and storyline remain tightly under wraps,
crazy, dude.
leaving fans eager for more information. Reacting to the unexpected
wonder if he'll play
news,
Zang.
gaming enthusiasts and Michael Jackson fans alike have taken to social media to express their astonishment and excitement. Twitter, in particular, has been ablaze with trending hashtags such as Rebirth and Fantasy Returns, as users speculate on the implications of Jackson's resurrection for both the gaming and music industries.
MGR.
MGR.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a modern reimagining of the classic 1997 title, has been highly anticipated since its announcement, promising stunning visuals, enhanced gameplay mechanics, and a reinvigorated storyline set in the beloved world of Gaia. With the addition of Michael Jackson to its cast, the game's appeal has reached unprecedented heights, drawing attention from a diverse audience worldwide.
Also, airships confirmed. Airships confirmed.
Airships confirmed.
As fans eagerly await further updates and revelations about Michael Jackson's role in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Look how sweet he looks,
one thing
dude.
is certain.
I can't believe that they're also decided to fuse kind of like a Squall type character with the gunblade and everything into Final Fantasy VII. This is crazy.
One thing is certain. The
That's
fusion
nuts.
of two cultural icons, Jackson's musical
Wait a minute.
legacy and the
Wait a minute. We're gonna go back and look at that where it's kind of showing like how similar Cloud and Michael Jackson actually were all along. This has been planned since 1997. They released the Final Fantasy VII game, I think. I think this was, look at that. Uncanny.
and the enduring
Wow.
appeal of the Final Fantasy franchise.
That's crazy, dude.
Promises
I
an
can't believe it.
unforgettable and
He's back.
groundbreaking gaming experience for players around the globe. For now, enthusiasts can only
really back.
speculate on the mysteries that lie ahead in this unprecedented
We're gonna find out
collaboration
soon.
between the realms of music and gaming, eagerly anticipating the moment when they can embark on this extraordinary journey with the king of
This
pop
reporter is
himself.
doing a good job.
Yeah, dude. I don't know who. I've never seen that reporter before.
Yeah, I think
To
he's
be
like
honest.
for CNN Gaming. They don't show their stuff very much.
Oh,
They don't report
CNN
much.
Gaming. Yeah, they don't do a lot. They don't do a lot. My son unsubbed for the meme. Yeah, get back to 16K. Tell him to sub back. We hit 16K right before we went live, folks. 16,000 subscribers. Except for then Witcher trolled me and unsubbed. Yeah, it's pre-Pepsi Michael Jackson it looked like. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it did look like pre-Pepsi. Like Michael Jackson prime. You know, prime time Michael Jackson. Like 1990s, you know, when you know, Final Fantasy VII came out.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It'll be cool to see how he's incorporated into the game.
Dude,
Hopefully it doesn't ruin the game, though. Jeez.
So I hadn't seen that before, by the way. So when I seen the Squall Jackson, I died. I was not expecting
Squall
that.
Jackson.
It's something about it. It looked kind of good. You know what I mean? It looked kind of good. All right. So what else do we got here? We've got. Let's talk about. We got to talk about this because this is huge news. We'll come back to the I-95 thing. Let's we'll come back to that. Let's talk about the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth reviews while we're on this subject.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So, Final Fantasy VII, for those that don't know, is reviewing really well. So, like, the embargo is up or off, or however you're supposed to word that, which means that all the people who got early copies have dropped their reviews. So, all the journalists, some YouTubers, big-time YouTubers, and stuff like that. And it's done really good. Gula Gula wants to be taken back to the city. I do have new updated Perv City videos here. So, here we go, Gula Gula. Let's go to the city.
Then I'm gonna take it and then I'm gonna break it
All right, we're back. We're back from the city. Hope you enjoyed that, Gulo. So the reviews are in, and they're really good. So on Metacritic, which just kind of takes all the scores, there's been 125 of them. It's sitting at a 92. We did get a couple of 80s in here that kind of dropped it, because it was at 93. With like, I think it had like, when I last looked, it had like right at 100, and it was at a 93. So you can pretty much expect that with 125 reviews and it's sitting at a 92, that's pretty much probably going to stay around that right around there, if not go up and like 1 point, down 1 point at the worst. And this makes Final Fantasy VII the highest reviewed, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the highest reviewed Final Fantasy title since Final Fantasy IX, which is the highest rated one at a 94. So pretty stinking good, man.
Yeah.
A lot of perfect scores.
I'm pumped about it, man. I am super pumped.
Yeah, man. I am too. And to see people, because this is I want to say too that like some games get away, some series and IPs get away with like almost murder, and they're going to get good. They're going to get good reviews, right? Even though I love this series, I will admit that the reviews are a little biased. The Legend of Zelda. Like, it's going to get good reviews, right? Like, Nintendo's not going to put out a crappy product, but also, they can do the same thing every single time, and people just never get tired of it. You know what I mean? If it's Legend of Zelda.
Right.
Not to say they haven't changed formula, because they did, but I'm just saying, like, it gets a little bit of... I'm not saying I don't think that way. Like, I'm a big fan of Zelda, too. I've played it since the original game on Nintendo. Changed my life. And every time a Zelda game comes out, I love it for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just immediately, I'm like, I love it. You know? But they actually are good games also. But I will say that Final Fantasy does not. It used to get that benefit, but now it's more popular to hate Final Fantasy than it is to love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately,
for it to do this good, especially a remake of a beloved title that they have made changes in, that's obviously, even if they made it exactly the same, people would complain. If you make it have some changes, people are going to complain. If you make Tifa's boobs bigger, they complain. If you make them a little smaller, they complain. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people out here, I just found this out, by the way, that think that Aerith, this is huge in Japan, they think Aerith is ugly, the new Aerith model. What? What?
dang.
Yeah, like straight up big, tons of articles in Japan. It's a big deal there. They're like, why'd they make her look so ugly? What are you talking about? She looks...
That's crazy.
She does not look ugly.
She looks a lot better than what I can get.
Me too, dang. Anybody.
Hey, this guy's Grando Reaper. He said Tifa seems to have a boob buff. Do you feel like that?
Did she get a buff? Hang on, we'll try to... we'll investigate that.
Check this out. I'm going to send you a clip right now.
How can you say that is ugly, though?
Here's a clip from the game that also shows. This shows you the difference of when she's wearing a sports bra and when she's not.
Can you send it in our...
From the game. Yeah.
Okay, I see it. Let's watch it together. Here we go. I'm clicking it now.
The guys are going to love this.
Does it actually compare them?
No,
oh, she did get a boob buff, dude!
But dude, but she's normally wearing a sports bra, so it compresses them. She's wearing a swimsuit here.
Oh, so wait a minute. So the rumor is that they didn't debuff her boobs. We just didn't get to see them released. Is that what we're going with here?
I think that's what we're going with, because it makes sense. You know, in a sports bra, it's going to look
It
a little
does.
small.
Yeah. It smushes them. You know, they're more out this way. You know what I'm saying? Interesting.
But also, that's a nice little clip of Costa del Sol.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That'll be cool.
Now, while we're watching this clip, though, I just can't help it. Now I'm never going to quit. The whole time I'm playing the game, I'm like, why do they think she's ugly? Look at her. She's not ugly, is she? Is there something wrong with me?
Maybe Japanese dudes thinks that is not a good look to them.
So I tried to research this, and they said things like her face is too angular, and she looks too European, and stuff like that. That's why I'm like, is it me? And I'm just used to European women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Interesting, though, isn't it?
Little...
to them, like commonly in Japan, they think she's ugly, and they think Tifa's beautiful, which
Tifa
is
looks a little
beautiful.
more Japanese, though.
She does look more Japanese, and that must be it. But I think, like in America, we see all races all the time, and we don't. I think it just feels different for them, where they don't. People that live in Japan are mostly Japanese people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're European. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, and I'm wondering if like I don't know how to put it, but like, yeah, Tifa does look more anime.
She looks more Asian, for sure.
But I would say if somebody said which one's more beautiful, not counting boobs, I'd have a hard time. You know what I'm saying? It'd be hard to say.
I would pick Kate Sith.
Okay, Sith. I pick Red 13 down here. Look at him.
Red 13, look at him down there smiling. He's getting a good view.
Look at that.
Like.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
Yeah,
I know what he's looking at.
Yeah. He's looking
You
at
know
Tifa
what
too,
he's doing.
dude. Look at the eyesight. If we track that, that's exactly where Tifa's standing. Look at this. Oh, busted in this screenshot. Look, dude. Right at her butt.
4K.
Cotton 4K. Busted.
Right
Busted.
there.
Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, I think you guys are right. I think she got a boob buff. Interesting. That's breaking news. I didn't
Breaking.
know. It's breaking news. Breaking the bra news. So yeah, look at all these perfect scores though. IGN, a bunch of people from IGN gave it 100. Noisy Pixel 100. PC Games gave it 100. Which is weird because it's not on PC, but I guess they do more than that. Silicon Era gave it 100. Twinfinite gave it 100 too. Vandal, VGC. I don't even know who that is. Eurogamer, IGN Japan gave it 100. Digital Chumps gave it 100.
Twinfinite gave it 100. I'm in.
Dude, God is a Geek gave it 100 too. He don't just give them away.
No way, dude.
Gameblog.French gave it 100. IGN Spain gave it 100. RPG Gamer. RP Gamer. However you want to say it, because the G is shared. 100. And they don't give away hundreds either. Looking for some more. Destructoid, 95.
Wow.
Gaming Nexus, 95. MMORPG.com. Everybody trusts them, right? 95.
Dude, I'm going to love it. I am going to love it. It's so soon. It's just a couple days now.
It's a couple of days, bro. It comes out technically, if you're getting it midnight release, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, however you want to look at it. But the launch day is Thursday. And I'm going to stream it the second it goes live on my PlayStation 5 because I've got digital. So the second it goes live, I can go live. Some of the complaints I've seen are very small, such as, and I bet you this is fixed in day one patch. And if you play the demo like I did for the open world, you'll see this one, which is like when sometimes you run around the open world, you'll like come off of like a rock or something, you know what I mean, onto the regular ground, and it doesn't look right. They like kind of just bloop down on the ground, you know what I mean? They don't like, there's not like an animation to get them from up to down. It's a little weird looking. And I agree with that. I saw that in the demo. Another one is people who are saying, I mean, that's really the only one I can remember. I'm going to be honest. Mostly people love it. I haven't seen...
The only complaints I heard about it is stuff that they already announced that they're addressing or already have addressed. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like people are complaining the performance mode didn't look great, but they've already fixed that. That's already actually been fixed.
Cool. Yeah,
Prior
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, so some people were playing it before they put that patch in because they got the game early. So that was a good thing. Square Enix was paying attention to what people were telling them before this embargo lifted and fixed it real quick. So, like the performance mode, they said it looked just didn't look as good as it should. They felt like the PlayStation 5 should have been able to handle a little bit better resolution and still give you 60 frames, so they fixed it. And I played the fix on the demo, and it looks great. So, I don't know, man. There's no real complaints. I mean, you're always going to have some people who are like, I like the old one better. You know what I mean? But you can't avoid that when you're remaking a game. There's always going to be those people. I'm going to try to find the crappiest review. Okay, so here's the worst one. Ignoring the strong nostalgia for 97 is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake really up to par. Objectionally, the game blows hot and cold. As a pure remake, the work is done by Katase team is impressive. That's undeniable. But compared to what's being done today, the title lags a bit technically speaking. So graphically, they're saying like they think it should be able to do better. I see what that person's saying, but also, for the sake of development, to get a huge game like this one is out in time, they did not switch to Unreal Engine 5. They're still using Unreal Engine 4. And it looks great, but technically you've seen games that look better. That's a stupid argument to, in my opinion. Because, I mean, did they promise it would be the best looking game of all time? It looks better than Final Fantasy 16. I'll say that. It does. And I like Final Fantasy 16, even though a lot of people didn't.
I'm sure I won't have any complaints about that. Like,
it looks beautiful. But you can tell, like, if you've played a lot of really super modern games like God of War, you know, some of these games are using, like, some of these brand new, you know, top shelf engines. You know, it doesn't look that good. You know what I mean? But it looks beautiful. It does look beautiful. But, so, yeah, that's going to be a big deal, man. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Can't wait to play it, and it's looking great. Full boobage back on Tifa. I mean, what else could they do? What else could they do? All right, now let's move on to this. Steve sent this to me. I don't know anything about this, all right? I have no idea what we're about to look at. So let's check this out together, this I-95 story. So apparently a loose horse on I-95 interstate inspired a video game.
Ooh, I think you can watch the horse. We can watch the horse do it first.
Is it in this video after this ad, maybe?
It said there's a link here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, there's
after
like an ad playing, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I clicked on the one that said "Watch the horse gallop down the street," and it took me to another article.
Oh yeah. Let's watch that. Okay.
Oh yeah, after the ad.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, after this ad. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Horse gallops on I-95 in Philadelphia. Did you know about this, Witcher? Don't you live somewhere near here?
The video's like up there right by the title of the article.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the ad, and then let's see what it looks like.
In Philadelphia early this morning, a driver capturing this video of a horse galloping down the interstate. This happened before the morning rush, so it didn't impact traffic.
Dude, he's getting it, dude.
The horse
I know, dude.
One of the city's riding clubs.
Look at him go.
The horse has since been caught and is safe.
Book your next
so that
club.
That happening though.
Yeah, because that happens.
Because of that, somebody's making a video in the game. Players act as the horse, clicking to make the horse jump and collect Wawa coffee. Right, it's already out.
You gotta play the game. Yeah. It's like a crappy game.
Oh wow.
Oh, dude. This game rules, dude. This is the only game I'm playing from now on.
You're not even gonna play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now because you found the horse.
You don't have to if you can play this.
Wow. Horse 95 it's called if you want to check it out for yourself.
Dude, I got so many coffees.
I can't believe somebody saw that news like, that's it, I'm making a game.
I know, they really did. The animation and it's not horrible.
All right, so what else do we got here? Oh, guys, we got it. Now it's time. We got to talk about this Elden Ring DLC.
Peggy 16.
All right, hang on. Let me pause it here. Let me know when you're ready, Steve. We'll watch this together.
Let's see. I'm getting her pulled up right now, Jens.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, new DLC, and it's not your crappy DLC. It's not your stereotypical, here's a couple new things to do. This is
I'm ready.
A big deal. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Peggy 16.
He's running to Florida. Smart horse.
And radiant. He wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
They're gonna shrive clean the hearts of men.
Dang, son.
Look at that nasty hand.
There is nothing more terrifying.
Nice.
Look how good that looks, dude.
Now that's how you make a horse gallop down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Why does it kind of feel like this looks better than Elden Ring looked already?
I don't know. Maybe they did do graphic enhancements. I don't know. I feel like this is what I remembered it looking like.
Place.
I just feel like it didn't look...
Blood
I feel like it looks like this, but somehow it looks a bit better.
They are true faithful.
Maybe it's just these new environments.
Maybe, yeah.
They were never saints.
Look how sweet that looks.
Ooh, wow, dude.
Gosh. Oh my god.
I'm gonna die to those a lot.
Yeah, those things are creepy.
I love the monster design. Look at that, dude. Like, that's terrifying. It's Lino. Dude, that is terrifying of a creature, dude.
Love that they did a Thundercrats crossover.
Wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so
Look at that long-armed son of a gun.
of light?
Ooh. Was that a character wearing that?
You too are keen to know
That Bloodborne looking gear it just showed?
It seemed like.
just what kind Mikala is doing here.
That is cool, man. Look at that old hog.
Oh, wow. That is terrifying.
Dude, look at that thing.
With the horse
Boomerang
thing?
Bill.
The grace of gold, shadow,
Oh my gosh, this looks awesome, dude.
of restless flame.
Come now. Touch the withered arm.
Touch
and
the
travel
withered
to
arm.
The realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Elden Ring. Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Dude, this is exciting as
It looks
hell.
cool.
Wait a minute. Wow. June? Yeah, June 21st.
June.
Hang on, I want to see something.
That's
Let me
awesome.
back it up a little bit. PS4, okay, so it is for everything then. I was wondering if they would just skip
Yeah.
the old generation, but nope. Everybody can get it. Now,
PS4s are not getting left behind this time.
some people are giving them a hard time because I think they're charging $39.99 for this, but you can also get a collector's edition for like $250. It comes with like a statue, an art book, like 250-page art book, hardcover.
Dude, I may have heard wrong, but I heard that this is like a lot of content. in
Yeah, this is, I feel like this is almost big enough to be a sequel. Just based on what we've seen here, that was a ton of bosses, huge gargantuan areas, right, that are new. They mentioned the Shadow Realm, so brand new, I'm thinking map at least. And
yeah, it's probably like a whole nother game.
And everybody that played Elden Ring knows that, like, you get to a certain point where you already thought the game was huge, and then you find out that wasn't crap. It's like double that. Everybody that's got that far knows what I'm talking about. You get to a certain point where you're, like, already super impressed with how huge the game is, and then there's, like, double. And you're like, what? So, yeah, I expect this to be huge. So I think it's not a sequel, right? It's not like, I don't think it's as much content as there is an Elden Ring original. Therefore, they didn't want to charge like a full $70 for it. However, I bet you it's a good deal for $40. I bet you just like $70 was a good deal for what we got with Elden Ring.
I feel like this is going to be like the equivalent of, you remember back when the first Dragon Age came out and then they did that expansion? I think it was called Awakening.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
That was like a whole nother game.
That was like a whole nother game.
That was a huge expansion. I feel like that's what we're looking at here. A big, huge
Now,
chunk of glory.
I wouldn't consider this a microtransaction. I would consider this, you just got a huge chunk, like an expansion. This is an expansion. They should have called it that. Which we're used to paying about $40 for an expansion, right? You got to also remember the Elden Ring didn't monetize anything besides this expansion. There was no cash shop. There was no go and buy this extra. Blah, 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 blah. They didn't do nothing. They just released.
That makes me right there makes me feel like it's big.
It's big, yeah. So I think this is going to be huge, and I think they did a good job. All right, thank you, Wicked with Shaggy. Subscribed over on Twitch. Thank you so much. 2 months, second month in a row. Thank you so much, Wicked with Shaggy. Thank you, brother. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be a big deal, and I think if they're charging $40 for it, based on the amount of value we got on a feature-complete, non-broken game at release that we got with Elden Ring, I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, me too.
Speaking of Elden Ring, I want to pull up this little clip I found, which I haven't even watched it all yet. Apparently, Elon Musk has something to say about perhaps Elden Ring, I think.
I know he's a huge fan of it. I know
Hey,
that.
Wicked with Shaggy just gave us 100 bits over on Twitch and said, "Hi, Nate and Steve." Hello, Wicked with Shaggy.
What's up, Wicked with Shaggy? With Shaggy, like Shaggy the dog?
Yeah,
Just wanted to make sure I was saying it right.
that's right. All right, so let's watch this. Let's see what Elon Musk has to say. Supposedly, I haven't even watched this yet, so supposedly something about Elden Ring. Let me know when you're ready, Steve.
Oh, I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. This is from the Lex Fridman.
What do you get
podcast.
from video games in general? Is there for you personally?
I mean, it's I don't know if it's it calms my mind. I mean, you sort of killing the demons in a video game calms the demons in my mind.
That makes sense.
Yeah. If you play a tough video game, you can get into like a state of flow, which is very enjoyable. But admittedly, it needs to be not too easy, not too hard. Kind of in the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, we were just
and
talking
I guess you
about
generally
that.
want to feel like you're progressing in the game. So, a good video, and there's also beautiful art.
Agreed. Art.
Engaging storylines.
Games are art these days, 100%.
And it's like an amazing puzzle to solve, I think. And so it's like solving the puzzle.
Elden Ring, the greatest game of all time. I still haven't played it, but to you,
Elden Ring is definitely a candidate for best game ever.
Yeah, best game ever.
Top
It
five,
is a
for sure.
candidate, yeah.
I think
I'm going to pause it right there.
Candidate.
I'm going to pause it there because the reason I think that it's a huge candidate for best game of all time, so far at least, is that they had the balls to release a game that felt like old games used to feel like. The old school Nintendo Entertainment System, even up into Super Nintendo 16-bit. Challenging, hard. You need to keep playing it. You get better. You're rewarded by not giving up. You know what I mean?
There's like no hand holding.
No hand holding. It feels impossible when you get to a boss. When you get to a new boss, it feels impossible. You're literally thinking, this is impossible. I cannot do this. But you're like, it's almost like you can feel like, but I did mess up. I know that I messed up. I did that. I didn't roll. I tried to get too many hits on him when he was open, etc., etc. So you're like, I'm going to try it again. And before long, you've tried that boss about 20 times. And maybe you really do need to go level up, which the game gives you that option to just leave the boss, go do something else for a while, and come back later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you do that, you actually can come back to the boss and, you still have to learn to fight, though. You can't just cheese your way through it most of the time. There's a couple of things you can do to cheese, but like for the most part, you can't cheese your way through.
pretty
You've got
much
to
have
get better.
No direction in this game, Mm-hmm. The thing I thought was so cool when I first played is it honestly reminded me of the very first Legend of Zelda.
Me
because
too.
that was a game where they just plopped you into the world and you just started exploring, figuring out what to do.
Yeah, dude.
There was nobody telling you where to go.
There's so many places you could go. You know what I mean? Like, you could skip that entire first part. There's a way to get, like, down into that field past the first, what's meant to be the first, like, dungeon and boss encounter. I think his name is Margaret, if I'm remembering right. There's a way to go past all that into the lands, because I've done it before, and go on to the next thing if you wanted to, which is crazy. It's a very open game, but also it feels structured if you play it the way it was intended to be played. It feels also very... structured and like technically you got that, I haven't played in a while, but there's like a light type thing that kind of shows you like this is where you're supposed to be going next, but it's very subtle. It's not like a big giant freaking icon on your screen saying go here. You know what I mean? It's kind of subtle.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's keep watching video. I'm gonna hit play again. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, how hard I hear it is. So, but it is beautiful.
Elden Ring feels like it's designed by an alien.
There's a theme to this discussion. In what way?
It's so unusual. It's incredibly creative, and the art is stunning.
Yeah, the monster
I
design
recommend
is
playing it on
crazy
a
good.
big resolution, high dynamic range TV. Even doesn't need to be a monitor. Just the art is incredible. It's so beautiful, and it's so unusual.
Yeah, very unusual.
And each of those top boss battles is unique. Like it's like a unique puzzle to solve. Each one's different. And the strategy you use to solve one battle is different from another battle.
Yeah, like MMO.
That's
like
what you said.
like
Druid on
MMO.
Eternal against Uber Lilith is the hardest boss battle you've ever.
Correct. That is currently and I've played a lot of video games because it's my primary recreational activity.
Yes.
And yes, beating hatred in the Eternal Realm is the hardest boss battle in life and in the video game.
Nice. Yeah, pretty cool. So that's actually pretty sweet. I kind of agree with Elon Musk on a lot of that. Like, I think that was the reason that Elden Ring was so beloved and is going to be for many years to come. Is those boss battles, man? They were just so well made.
Yeah, and hardcore.
And hardcore, dude. It really
Hardcore.
reminded me for the first time in a long time of being a kid. You know, like playing original gaming back when it started taking off in the 80s.
I mean, I remember the first time I played Elden Ring, I think I played it for like 6 hours straight and didn't accomplish anything. But I felt like that I did all this cool stuff.
Yeah, because just by exploring and finding a cave, everything in the game just feels really good.
I went into that game totally blind, not knowing anything about it, not even seeing video footage.
That's the best way.
Right?
That's the best way.
And so I didn't know how the game was set up or anything like that, right? All I knew is that it was like a Souls-like type combat, you know?
Yeah.
And you know that place real close towards where you start where it looks like a little village and there's like all those soldier guys there and guards? Dude, I walked right up in there thinking it was like a village with like NPCs. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it felt like I was surrounded on every angle by those guys. And
that was my only advice that would have made Elden Ring even better, is if it would have had towns, which I understand with the story, maybe it doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying, if they'd have built the story for it to make sense, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have went to towns where there was people, even weird-looking creatures living, whatever, that weren't hostile. Somewhere to go and like, because it had little places like an old churchyard or, you know, where there'd be somebody that guy you could sell to with the donkey or whatever it was. But I mean, an actual town, village, and even at least one major city would have put that game through the roof of hype and excitement for me. Even though I love the game to death, as is, I wished it was also had that RPG.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it might be one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, me too. If it
had that.
If I would have stumbled upon little villages and stuff during my travels.
That would have been really cool.
That would have been epic.
Especially in a game where you're not really, where you find it because you're exploring around, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You'd feel like you found
cool.
it. You'd feel like you legitimately found a town tucked away in between some mountains or something, you know?
Yeah, maybe one day somebody will make a game like Elden Ring, but it has all those other...
Agreed. I would
cool
love that,
RPG
dude.
elements.
Or maybe even
also.
Elden Ring 2 will be that. Maybe that'll be the big thing they
maybe.
change. That would be cool with me.
You know, it would be kind of cool with Elden Ring 2 if they're doing actual number 2.
They better.
It would be neat if Elden Ring was one of those series like Final Fantasy, where like the next one was like a totally different kind of world and story. You know what I mean?
That would be cool. Yeah, give them some freedom to do stuff like that. Yeah, I like that. Hopefully they do.
That would be cool.
Let's move on to another title. This was just announced, as far as I'm aware. I think maybe it's been talked about a little bit. This is done in Unreal Engine 5. It's called Little Devil Inside.
This actually I think got announced a couple years ago, and then it just.
But we haven't seen anything, right? We haven't.
Yeah, right.
So this is also want to announce, although this trailer's for the PlayStation 5 edition, this game is confirmed 100% coming to the Switch 2.
Have you ever had a Little Devil Inside?
I hope not, but you never know.
Would you like to?
No, not. All right, let's back it up. All right, you ready, Steve?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2.
Wait, hold on, I got an ad.
Okay, let me wait for your ad.
They're trying to get me to work out. Hold on.
Oh, no, not
They're trying to get me in the gym.
Not them again.
All right. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's see what we got here, Little Devil.
I like the way it looks so far.
Yeah, it's a neat train. Hamsville, I'm in.
Hamsville, dude.
I'm in.
It's perfect.
I'm playing this.
Welcome to Hansville.
Back
Must
to
have been a harsh
Hansville.
trip.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I kind of dig this.
Something about the animation that I like a lot.
Man, it looks cool.
Like a Pixar
Especially
movie
like
when they were
how
dead.
good it looks.
Yeah, with the good backgrounds, you mean? Like,
Yeah.
hello there. So what's a catch of the day?
Oh, I hope it's a ham sandwich.
Oh, you just pull out a
It
head?
was a head.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. Heading back to Blackwood Forest. I like that zoomed out.
Yeah.
view for some reason.
It reminds me of that one game we were talking about last show, Fantasia.
Yeah.
With the
the
dioramas.
Yeah, yeah. Listen to that little piano. Lily's Pond.
It's the name for a reason popular hunting ground for locals. Oh, look, they're walking out in there like a world map.
Oh, I see him now, yeah. I was looking at the train still. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Is this like going to be like an
cool.
RPG, like a turn-based RPG?
I hope so. I don't know.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Me too. Please don't be.
This
please
could be
let
neat.
it. Please show turn-based battle, and I'm in. Stopping at a gas station. That reminds me of Final Fantasy 15. Oh look, you can get out at the Texu.
Oh, that looks
Texu.
cool, man.
Okay, buying some supplies. Please. I'm afraid this will be one of those
he's
games
going to
with
the
no
dead
battle.
mine now.
Please show battle. Please show
No,
this
dude,
combat.
they should have zombie's head cut off. There's gonna be battles.
Ooh, that bear looks cool, dude. I really like that. Oh, it's action.
Oh, it looks like it's.
It looks
yeah,
good,
but
though.
it looks like it's. It looks like Elden Ring combat.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Like action,
It's like Soul
strategy,
combat,
very
I bet.
slower paced strategy.
That guy hit a deer. I do wish it was turn-based combat. though.
Dude, barbecue park, dude? Mmm, smells yummy.
Smells yummy.
Eat together, or you can fight them off. You decide to eat
Oh,
with
that's
them.
awesome. It looks like there'll be a lot of cool decisions maybe you can make.
I really like the
It
way they're
looks
doing
so
these
cool,
scenes.
man.
It looks like,
Yeah,
too,
the
it's,
cinematography is awesome.
it looks like it's kind of like doing a throwback to pre-rendered backgrounds, even though they're not pre-rendered.
Yeah.
Do you get that feel sometimes in a scene?
No, definitely, 100%.
Like the old PlayStation
Like,
games.
that looks like...
Oh, okay, so there's equipment, and it shows it when you equip it. I don't
That's
know, I
sweet.
kind of am digging this so far.
I know, dude, I'm gonna play this, I think.
Oh, look at that little creature back there. He's hiding. He was camouflaged as a sheep, dude.
Dude, look how cool that looked. In
The
that
combat
scene.
looks good. Oh, he has a gun.
I bet in this game you can die easy.
I bet you it's a hard game, yeah. Look at that rain
Dude,
effect.
it looks awesome, dude. That looks so cool.
Look at the little leaves blowing.
Ooh, some octopus meat.
Muscle tissue in progress.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Interesting.
This looks cool, man. Here he's running around the
yeah,
town.
it really does.
I'll need to examine more closely. So you bring things, it sounds like you bring things to a town for them to investigate, maybe unlock something, maybe for crafting or something like that,
Yeah,
maybe?
Oh, look at that.
Whoa, what's going on in there?
Oh, it's that guy.
Did he just rob him?
Yeah, he took a key off.
Oh, and he caught him. He's chasing him.
That's old gooseneck Wilbur.
Oh, he's got a party with them now?
Or like a caravan or something.
What? Yeah, there he is in the front.
This kind of looks cool. Oh, look at there.
Oh, sweet, dude. Roll in there, get him right in the belly. Oh, he's using an old payphone. Job's done, need you to what?
Come pick me up.
Oh, and he's waiting on the bench to be picked up. This is so bizarre, but good looking.
Yeah, it looks it looks fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely checking this out.
Yeah, sometimes they do these indie games, like someone said when this first came on, which I was afraid this would be, like a hipster indie game, which sometimes I'm just not into that, you know? But this looks good.
Yeah, it looks like it has a lot of substance to it.
Yeah, like it's not just some BS. Look at them zombies. I like the models a lot. That fire blade, dude, he's burning them up.
Man. Wow. Oh my gosh.
They've been working on this game a long time, so...
I know, and it turned. I just looked. This video's kind of long. It's gonna show a bunch of stuff. It looks like.
Yeah, you're right. We're not even halfway through it yet.
Oh no, I got an ad.
All right, hang on. I'll pause it.
It's of a huge fat guy eating worms. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. The Infant Terrible? Clearance level not cleared for public.
Oh, okay. This must be like how the game starts.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Is it snow? Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That's like completely white. Okay, now, oh, some climbing. Dude, the
George
vibes.
Washington Monument.
The vibes this is getting me. It's a famous French poem. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that.
Oh, interesting.
This is giving me the vibes of, like, that there's a crap ton of gameplay mechanics wrapped into this one game.
Well, for the fact that the title describes it as a dark survival.
Yeah.
It probably does have all kinds of interesting elements to it.
Like a post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
But there are still some thriving cities or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's not even in a world like... maybe it's not even like our world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's its own
kind
of thing. That's what it feels like.
I've not tried out Pacific Drive, by the way. Oh, he's hunting for meat, I bet.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get some meat.
So if I had to guess, what it's showing right now is like the beginning of the game, where
that's what I'm thinking.
You're just stuck in the middle of this snow mountain area, getting your bearings, and then what we saw at the beginning is like after this. I bet you. Know what I mean?
Yeah. If you skip, I don't know if you're wanting to watch. Do you want to watch the whole video?
How long is it? 16
it's only
minutes.
16 minutes.
I think we should watch
We're already
it.
halfway there. Let's finish it.
Because this is interesting.
I'm intrigued now.
Oh, he's making a fire. Good sound effects too. That little.
Ooh, he's cooking.
What did he pick? Meat and stew? Is that what he picked?
Yeah, meat and vegetable stew, I think.
Like, I usually don't like survival games, but when they're really cool, like this is... There's something real...
Yeah.
I don't even know how to put it into words. Just something really cool about this.
I actually just now realized that there are some survival games out there that I like.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that, too.
I was hating them forever.
Oh, a freaking Yeti, dude. I bet this is the final boss for this area.
Oh, yeah, I bet it is. Or who knows? Maybe these things are all over the place.
So for beating this guy, you'll get an achievement or trophy or whatever you call it on your particular platform. That when you beat this guy, you'll notice that only 40% of players do, and you'll know that almost nobody played the game.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like how that blood was sticking in the snow there for a minute. I wish it would have stayed the whole time. That looked good.
Oh, yeah. He just got slapped.
Oh, what the heck? We've got some Kingdom Hearts Heartless coming after.
The Heartless.
The Heartless are here, dude. It's even playing music. It reminds me of the Heartless.
Oh my gosh, and look, there's one of the Heartless leaders.
Dude, that's his Keyblade.
That guy ain't joking around.
Yeah, I saw that guy in real life. Used to live in my apartment.
Uh-oh. It's Scoobsy Dow Jones.
So yeah, he's bringing in monster parts to him for them to investigate.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, underwater too? No. You're joking me. It's aesthetically pleasing, yes.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, definitely. This is cool. But it looks like something fresh. Like, when I play this game, I got a feeling that I won't have felt like I'm playing something I've already played.
Yeah, it'll feel like something new. Oh, look at that swamp travel.
That a lot these days, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't either, because everybody keeps trying to make the next big God of War stuff.
Yeah, either that or the next big open world, whatever.
Oh, shot him right in the butt, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
booty bear shots.
Hunting.
Oh, the bats! It looks sweet.
Oh, that is cool.
Dude, if this game dives deep in exploration, which looks like that is what it's doing, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna freaking love it. If I feel like I can just go out on an adventure, you know what I'm saying? For real?
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it. Oh, snap. He's rappelling down. Was that a giant down there?
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
it's like a giant monster of some kind.
The transition.
What the heck?
Dude, I'm really the more I see of it, the more I'm digging. Oh, wow. Now, I feel like we saw a screenshot of that a long time ago. That cat creature.
I think maybe you're right. Oh, look at these guys.
Oh, wow. There's an army.
There's so much stuff in this trailer that my mind is a little bit blown.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I just saw the dragon. I'm sold.
Enfant terrible. Oh, look at that beach.
What the heck's that guy? It's like a newspaper guy.
Maybe he's got a ticket.
Hurry, the train's coming. The animation is so good, dude.
Yeah, it looks so sweet.
You know what it reminds me of, I just realized?
What?
Wind Waker, but awesome looking.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're right.
Something about the character design. Yeah.
And not cell shaded.
Not cell shaded. Yeah.
It looks cool.
Cornfield Street, dude. Cornfield, like Hamsville. This is Steve's game. This is Steve's game.
You think that I had something to do with the writing?
World War, yeah, like a World War II kind of, or maybe even World War I. Little bit of vibes.
I got another ad.
All right, I'm gonna pause it.
Looks like he's
all right, it's already gone.
Okay, here we go.
reading the letter he received.
Okay, this is then it shows the letter that he got there.
Oh,
something about a mansion.
Simple enough.
It's a job.
Billy arrives at Cornfield Station. He needs to meet Professor
Cornfield
Vincent,
Street, baby,
who should be nearby.
I want this actor right here to work for Cringe
There's
Pony.
an old lady
voice actor.
He's Borderlands. Sounds like David
travel,
Attenborough.
You can engage with
Great.
various people.
Like, look at that.
Sometimes
look at the
to
character
buy
models.
goods,
It feels
or simply
Zelda-ish
ask
to
for
me, like
directions.
especially Wind Waker. That world map, dude. What
On
they look
certain
like
occasions,
little
the
toys.
crew is available
Yeah.
to travel together. During world map travel, you can encounter various events, some bigger than others. In this case, a flock of sheep blocking the road.
World of Final Fantasy art style. That's true.
Looks like they have arrived near their destination.
He costs too much for
Billy
Cringe Pony's
heads
budget.
towards an eerie-looking mansion.
Yeah, if he charges more than
to
$1,
fulfill
I can't
his
afford him.
Simple task, of course. He's greeted by who seems like the owner. The job is to pick
is
up
the
a
mansion.
mysterious artifact and deliver it to Professor Vincent.
It's like a creepy mission, dude.
Looks like it's kept in the mansion's basement, leaving behind the unsettling signs.
He's taking you
of
down in the
world.
basement.
Dude,
Billy
that guy's a
enters the
pervert.
basement chamber.
Dude, look at all those drawings.
Oh, he tricked him.
Well, Well, it turns out that the job is not going to be so
Oh,
simple
he was trying to
after
feed him
all.
to his pet octopus creature.
Ever since leaving the mansion, strange-looking creatures constantly appear.
Oh,
Areas surrounded
they're
by a
little
mob,
ghosts.
striking and sticking the blade into enemies to pull and throw them around.
I like how simplistic the character design is, but it
his
looks
travels,
so good.
They make up for it with the
resort to
animation,
his
I feel like.
survival instincts
Yeah.
and make use of whatever he has to survive. Often being exposed to the harsh side of Mother Nature. A desert environment is one such place. Finding safe places to camp and cooking up food is all part
I like
of the
that
journey.
donkey back there.
Oh, that's a nice
This
ass.
time,
That's a nice
sub-zero
ass.
climate. And
Look at the
worse,
donkey there.
caught in a snow blizzard. Struggling to pull his companion out of the snow.
Oh no, like
What
that scene
will
in
be
Neverending
the fate?
Story, dude.
Lead Billy throughout his journey. And imagine what he has to face. Some expected, more often not.
Oh, what the heck? That's like a robot.
I ran away.
How was that?
Oh my. Welcome to the world of Little Devil Inside.
Dude. 2022, it says.
It's crazy that trailer just got released.
Yeah, 3 days ago. But it says 2022. They forgot to... Did anybody get to play it, though? I don't think it was playable in 2022, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a release date for that?
Is there?
They haven't done an update since 2021. They did think it was going to release at the end of 2022. But apparently, obviously not. I don't think there's a release date yet.
Yeah. It looks like they just released that video to be like, we're still working on it. It's still here. We're still doing it.
Yeah, well, it looks like they got a lot done. Yeah, they
this
just
is a
it was a
Kickstarted game.
Kickstarted game, so they just released a that update that we just watched with an apology and that gameplay. So the last time I heard anything was back in 2021. Might be a while until we're collecting Little Devil Inside trophies, but now at last we have some concrete answers.
Dude, these smaller studios are really cleaning up right now.
Yeah, this is a high quality one.
Yeah, and
It
if
looks
they're
like.
the like Power World did really well. What's that other indie game that Helldivers 2
Helldivers 2,
is a small studio. I don't know if I'd say an indie game,
But they're small.
it's definitely
It's
a
not a
really
huge,
small
yeah, it's
studio.
like a AAA studio or anything.
And I could be wrong, but I thought that Enshrouded was made by
It
a
is.
small studio.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yep.
dude, that game's doing really well.
That game's doing really good too. Well, that's what
And then these
happens
big
when
games are coming out like Suicide Squad and they're flopping.
I mean, we're not getting. Well, yeah, we're not getting good. We're not getting a lot of good games out of AAA, and we haven't
No.
been for a while now. We've been getting.
It's because they've been
garbage
trying to
from
give us those quadruple A games.
Yeah, yeah, they need to worry about quit adding A's to their advertisements and just make good games that look interesting to play. That like that Little Devil Inside that we just watched. That's so tempting. That I feel like a crap ton of people are going to just be too curious not to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No shareholders equals better game. It usually is true. Shareholders or investors tend to not be good for the product, right? Because all they care about is the profits, and that changes the way a company has to behave, and it's just not good. And what's sad about that is the higher ups at a company are full aware of that, but they need that funding to make these huge products, right? So they're kind of stuck to the beholden of investors, et cetera, that don't actually care about the product or the game. So it's really sad. It's really sad. We've went so corporate in the world that it's strangling the life out of good stuff, obviously. Which is the end game, like that's of course what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well that looks great. We got
Yeah, I'm interested.
There's another game that got an announcement trailer like maybe an hour or two before we went live. It's called, and I haven't seen this yet. It's called Renatus. Let me know when you're ready.
I haven't heard of it.
This is the announcement trailer, so only a few hours ago did anybody know about it. I'm gonna pause it. I don't know if it's gonna be good, bad. I don't know, guys.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's see what we got here. Well, it's up my alley already.
Graphics look good so far, if it's in game.
Looks like it. In the streets of Tokyo.
Oh, is this a play on the word sonata? Only by overcome our fear of idiosyncrasies, something? Ooh, good music. At 14, I stood between life and death and the cold of winter. That was when I got my magic. Wizards are the nails that stick out? I've had to struggle as a wizard, same as you. Darkness, the Crimson Chaos, Wizards of Shibuya. In effect, we are a government agency of wizards that acts as a magical task force. Looks like rubberum addicts are engaging in illegal activities. Arrest. Dangerous wizards get bumped. Like the Justice magical officers who restore order. Chaos Shibuya at night that attracts people to its streets. It's more than a floating bit of magic. It's the entrance to Dominus Forest. You'll be able to ride the Gel.
Something I would play.
You'll be able to ride the Gel. He's the administrator of magic. He can free you, Marin. Show me the strongest power. This is it. I can see right through you. Take this. Singui Mene Mana. Something, something. Oh, he's just calling out his attack. You were hired to fight. Do you see yourself in me? Now you can die with your secret! I have a mission! I can't lose here! The world came to revolve around you! Okay.
Renatus.
I mean... Oh wait, it's not over yet. I accidentally paused it. Hang
Fall
on.
2024.
Fall.
Oh, there is something there at the end, I guess.
Okay. Let me see what that is. Oh, it's by NIS. They're hit and miss.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's the estrogen bomb.
This looks interesting to me, but it's nowhere near the top of my list.
Yeah. I'll free you.
From that which binds.
Which binds you. Well, Dollar General near? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? I do kind of like what they seem to be going for here, which is almost like a Harry Potter-ish kind of organization.
Yeah, you see that a lot in anime.
Yeah, that's
that whole...
I'm a little sick of the whole you're in school kind of fit thing. You know what I'm saying?
They always do that.
They always do that. I'm a little tired of it, but... I don't know. They can do it good.
The only game that I still like that in is Persona.
Yeah, Persona's different.
Because it's such a big part of
it's
the
actually
gameplay.
School, though. I mean, like, when they do this, like, oh, you're in this... Like, the Final Fantasy VIII thing. The Final Fantasy VIII thing.
The Wizards Academy.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it is Harry Potter in their world, which is still cool, because that's unique. Or, like, Final Fantasy VIII did it, and that was unique for its time.
I get what you're saying.
And I think Final Fantasy VIII did it in a way where it was cool. It seemed cool. It didn't seem lame. It didn't seem ridiculous or stupid. You know what I mean? It was like a military school. You know what I'm saying?
You kind of got right out of it, though.
And it was real quick.
That doesn't last long.
I kind of liked it, though. It was a good way to do a tutorial to get you started. You know what I mean? I liked it in that one. But I just feel like they do that too often. I'm just kind of tired of it. But it could be good. It could not be. It's by NIS America or whatever they're called.
It might be all right. We'll have to see. It's one of those ones.
Yeah, they've shoveled some things out in the past, so I don't know. We'll just have to watch that one. I don't know.
Not to I'm gonna put something in the. Go ahead and play this trailer since we're talking about games where you're in school. Go ahead and play this. This just got announced.
Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Is this a
Yeah.
is this a DLC or expansion?
It's okay. So they like to basically do They've done this with all the Persona games and a lot of the other Shin Megami Tensei. They like will re-release the game with a bunch of different stuff.
Oh, but this is coming to new platforms because Shin Megami Tensei 5, great game. Ridiculously great game. I've played through it twice.
Yeah, now check this
but
out.
It was
dude.
only
this
on
one has
Switch.
a completely different alternate storyline that you can play it through instead of the original.
Okay,
So
all right.
I may end up picking this up.
I didn't know about this. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. What's out? Partial nudity. An untold Shin Megami Tensei 5 story. Embark on a tale of revenge by the
I'm
fallen.
afraid Tokyo experienced its own peculiar occurrence while you were away. I'll be counting on you to gather more intel on the matter.
I suspected to be traveling back and forth between Tokyo and the netherworld.
Oh, it looks cleaner, dude. It looks way cleaner and better framed.
Who are you? Now let's kill this thing.
And so we have found it.
It's coming to PC, right? For the first time.
Yeah.
This is where you prove.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be cool, dude. For anybody that didn't get to play this because it was anybody did not get to play this because you don't have a Switch or whatever, bro. You have got this is a good game. This is a really good game.
You're not alone. If you want revenge, then I'll help you get it.
The story grips you
Allow
quick.
me to remind you how you were wronged by this world.
Dude, this looks awesome. June 21st, same day as the Elden Ring game, dude. What the heck, guys?
Probably pick it up. Dude. Like, and when I say an alternate storyline, I don't mean like there's like an alternate little story you can play. I'm talking about from the start to the finish of the game you can play through, and it's a different story.
I noticed that because it was showing some scenes that I remember, but not like that from the original. You know what I'm saying?
And it has the option to play through the original game on it too.
So it's
like the alternate story will have like also like new characters and stuff like that.
Like there's a bunch of these scenes I remember those parts. I'm trying to find it. Like when he was at that train, when he finds that guy, when you originally find that guy. That's obviously that scene, but that's not what happened.
Look out!
That did not happen. You know what I mean?
Now let's kill this thing.
Or her. So cool, man. I'm really looking forward to this. I really like Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I've never played any other Shin Megami Tensei game before. Was not a fan. I just knew that tons of people loved it, and it came out at a good time where I was waiting on some other games, wasn't really anything else at that time, and so I went ahead and bought it and didn't expect to like it that much. I just thought, let's just see what Shin Megami Tensei is all about, and I loved it. It was really good. Even my wife would watch me play and liked it.
Yeah, it's cool.
PC gaming will remain niche even when mobile destroys consoles. This is the We Have Persona at Home game. I disagree with that. My personal opinion, although Persona 5 blew up, Shin Megami Tensei is the original. Persona is kind of a side project off of Shin Megami Tensei. So these are actually, in my opinion, I like these more than Persona. Me personally.
Yeah, I'm the other way around. I like Persona better just because, and don't get me wrong, I also love this game. But the reason I like Persona so much is because it has such an insane, crazy amount of character development that you don't have in this game, just because of how the game works, how the story works.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very awesome. And I'm super excited it's finally not going to be an exclusive. And not only are you guys getting Shin Megami Tensei 5, but you're getting like a ridiculous updated version of it. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Right? That's really good news. That's exciting. I didn't even know about that. Was that just announced recently?
Yeah, that was on the new Nintendo Direct that just happened.
Ooh, I might have to check it out. I haven't even seen any of that yet. All right, let's move on to an MMO.
Well, before we do that, actually, I saw Grando Reaper said, can we talk about how bad the Borderlands movie looks, and we were planning to talk about that anyway.
We might as well.
Go ahead and slip that in there.
Let me find where that was posted at.
I didn't post anything except for the trailer dropped. I didn't put a link.
I could just pull up the trailer then.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
I'm gonna mute this because I don't want to get a copyright strike. This is one that probably would.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, Borderlands 2024 official trailer. Look, it's muted. I gotta mute it because this music is gonna be copyrighted.
Yeah.
If somebody said, "What do you think they would do if Hollywood made a trying to cash in on Borderlands?" This is exactly what I would dream up in my head. You know what I'm saying?
It's got a garden that I might.
This scene it shows right here to finish. You know, it's just super Hollywood. That's all. We're tired of it. That's all. We're tired of it. For the most part, we're just sick of it. We want to see stuff that's cool, that it feels unique, and doesn't feel like the same old treadmill of Hollywood's nonsense. I think.
Like, I hate to say this is just my opinion, but I feel like I agree with everything you're saying about Hollywood and movies, right? I feel like in this one scenario, they actually got it right because Borderlands actually does suck like that. So they accidentally made it like the game, so it will just.
It was a perfect conversion, is what you're saying. Wicked the Shaggy says it's an alright game. It's like a stoner's game with stupid jokes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just never got into it.
I'm not hardcore into it.
All right, but now let's move on to Final Fantasy 14. All right, so we've all heard, I'm sure you've all heard by now that Final Fantasy 14 is getting a graphical update here with the launch of Dawntrail supposedly coming out this summer. So this is a graphics comparison. We're going to be able to see what it looks like compared to what it did look like, and I thought we could talk about this a little bit. So let me know when you're ready, Steve.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Camel Sam rocks you. Isn't that jam?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it's new road graphics. I can't tell. It looks good though. Okay, now
the one on the far left is the new, right?
Yeah. Okay, so better fidelity. Hang on, I'm gonna pause it right there. You can see that this is more of just a texture. This has actually got some shine. You know, the lighting is actually reflecting off of it. Also, it's more three-dimensional looking. So higher quality polygon for the shield. If they had to go through and redo every single piece of gear in the game, then oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's not like it's bringing the graphics up to be like a modern.
No, it's just increasing the fidelity.
But
like, look at this.
And like they a lot of the textures and like
lighting
plants and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's a slight graphical increase.
I think it's going to look really good, though.
I don't know if this trailer is going to be able to show what I'm trying to say or not, because I haven't seen this whole thing. But I think the idea is that maybe it's the sum of all the parts that they will look incredible on your screen in comparison.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, I saw a little 3-dimension on his hair, which really wasn't there before.
Yeah, there, look at this.
There's the new, yeah. So, noticeably better. More polygons, more detail, higher resolution on the textures. Because they were using, like, lower res for performance when this game came out. When Realm Reborn came out. Yeah, that's fairly. I feel like I forget the name of that race back there.
The Hootrat race. No, that's not it.
The Lalas, I can barely tell the difference. Okay, the bunny people, fairly incredible difference. You could be a female one of these, the lion people now, whatever they're called, Hajara or whatever they're called. So okay, I think that it's not like a crazy graphical difference, but when we see it in motion with all the things together, I think it's going to look really good. And the lighting is going to make it's going to look good.
Yeah, I agree.
I returned to Final Fantasy 14 full times for my main MMO and Leviathan. I'm going to be back on Final Fantasy 14 too to catch up.
But I'll be joining him.
Steve's going to be doing it with me.
At least that's the plan.
Yeah, my wife may come too, so we'll see. So I got to catch up and get ready for this expansion because I want to hit it hard because the Dawn Trail expansion's at least advertising itself to be like a almost a reboot for the MMO, to try to push it into another decade of being exciting and new. So brand new story, new characters, new place that we're going to, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited. It was always a good MMO, in my opinion. And so it's cool to see that they're trying to make it last longer and not just making a brand new MMO and throwing it in the trash, you know?
Agreed.
I do wish, I was just thinking of this the other day. What I wish more than anything else to do with Final Fantasy, okay? If Square Enix came to me and they said, Nathan Napalm, the great content creator on YouTube, with your mighty wisdom, what Final Fantasy should we remake and release on today's consoles and PC? I would, hands down, without any hesitation, quickly reply, Final Fantasy XI. Bring it back, baby. It was so good, so unique. There's never been anything like it. Dude, you could just take exactly what Final Fantasy XI is right now, even with the slow download speed and all the nonsense and play online and all the stupid crap, release it on the PS5 and I would play the living crap out of it.
I'd like to see that game updated, to be honest.
I'd like to see it updated, but I'm just saying, even if you want to be a lazy piece of crap, just release it on PlayStation 5. You know? Just release it. Let us play it on our console again. I feel like that game...
might as well. It's still active.
That game is so good for sitting on your couch like a lazy piece of trash with some Doritos on your freaking chest, Mountain Dew between your legs. Playing this game, dude.
It'll really get you going.
Final Fantasy XI needs major control changes for keyboard and mouse, but not for controller.
Yeah.
It's perfect with the controller. It is freaking awesome with the controller. That's why I'm saying I want it on my PS5. But anyway, that probably will never happen. But that's what I wish more than anything.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. Next up, guys.
I'm so bummed.
Get ready to get pissed off. Everybody ready to be pissed off? This next video...
I love being mad.
We're about to get pissed up in here. It's time to talk about the Switch 2 and the inevitability. I haven't even seen this video yet, but I already know. It's inevitable that scalpers are going to ruin it. Let's pull this video up. Oh, it's this guy doing the video? All right, hang on. This guy's kind of strange. Steve, you ever seen this guy before?
Here, let me see if I can get him pulled up.
He's always talking about chickens and stuff.
The scalpers thing,
Yeah. I don't watch this guy a lot, but I've seen enough to know that sometimes he says hilarious, weird stuff. Look at his background, dude.
I've got the ad.
All right, let me know when it's over.
Do. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Once upon a time, many moons ago, Review Tech USA used to be Review Scalpers USA. And why? Because every single day we used to hear about scalpers buying up all the PlayStation 5s and even the Series X's and S's. Skip it up and that up.
He is right, though. They're going to ruin it.
They were off the shelves. Even the Switch, it wasn't released in 2020. It already had a few years under its belt, but that was tough to find, too, during the pandemic. You remember those days?
Dude.
Yeah.
It was impossible.
Yeah. Times have changed, though.
No, they haven't.
But... Nintendo has given us a pretty substantial hint as to why they're waiting until early 2025 to release the successor to the Switch. You want to take a guess what that reason is? This comes from IGN.com. I'll read you a snippet, and then we'll discuss, and I'll give you my take.
Why
Nintendo
did
Switch
it get...
2 won't launch until March 2025 at the earliest, according to a new report. Japanese publication Nikkei reported the March 2025 release window with much of the same information leaked that we already know, that Nintendo's next console is a Switch successor with similar hybrid functionality, but a bigger screen and more powerful Duh. Then they go on to say this, Nikkei that is, that one of the reasons that Nintendo has set a March 2025 release window is to make sure it can manufacture enough launch stock to satisfy demand.
That's what I said. I thought
and therefore stop scalpers dead in their tracks. When the Switch
hold up,
launched in
I'm gonna
March 20.
Is that possible? Is it actually possible to release so many that scalpers? I guess it is. If there are so many made in advance that there's no reason somebody would spend more than the normal amount for the console, then the scalpers lose, right?
How many will they have to make to pull that
That's
off?
the question. How many will it take? Because they're going to go crazy. They'll
regardless
buy
if you're-
thousands. They'll buy thousands of them. You know what I mean? One scalper will buy hundreds, and some of them will buy thousands because they got freaking billions dollar richer off of the PlayStation 5. And the graphics cards. You know, it's the same. Some of these are the same actors. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's only the PlayStation 5 scalpers, and those are different people than the graphics card scalpers. These are the same MFers. And they're rich, dude. They are so rich now. Because we bought it. I didn't.
I did not.
Shame on you if you did.
People who did. I know people who did.
But I just said shame on you, but I want to take that back. Because I know some people in chat, and you don't have to admit who you are, who did pay overpriced for things like Final Fantasy Remaster, Physical Edition, because it was limited print. And I feel like that's different. I feel like that's different. I feel like that's shame on Square Enix. That's shame on Square Enix for doing that and causing us to have to do that. That's not shame on you. That's shame on Square Enix. But like when the PlayStation 5, they were releasing those consoles at a normal expected rate, actually higher than usual than the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3 to meet demand, but the scalpers were ruining it. And I don't know if Nintendo can even battle that. I mean, they're going to have to release a lot. And that might be why they delayed it, because they need that extra manufacturing time to do that.
Yeah.
But I know Nintendo would be pissed to find out their console was being scalped. It's very anti-Nintendo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sony was pissed too, but like I feel like Nintendo would take it way more personally. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit play again. 3, 2, 1, go.
When the Switch launched in March 2017, it was almost impossible to get a hold of. And when the other current-gen consoles came out in 2020, they were also next to impossible to get a hold of, if not impossible.
They were
That's
impossible.
why there was a ton of people scalping them and then reselling the consoles at obscene prices. This sparked a vibrant scalping market, which I sure as hell know about. It stands to reason Nintendo would want to avoid repeating the situation. So if they're in their minds that they released the Switch 2 this holiday season, we also know, we've heard from insiders, that Nintendo wants to make sure they have a good first-party lineup to make people actually want to buy the Switch 2.
They do need a good first-party lineup.
So if you combine these two things together,
they need a Zelda or a Mario.
This is why Nintendo is waiting until March of 2025. They want to avoid scalpers. They want to avoid scalping to have the stock ready, and to have games to make people actually want to buy the console.
I'm going to pause it right there. I may not watch the rest of this video. I kind of can't stand the way this guy edited this video, where he just keeps showing Nicolas Cage with
we got the gist. We
got the gist anyway. But I do want to say that I believe if Nintendo wants to guarantee sales, okay, and they know they made so much money off the Switch 2 is going to do awesome. And also, I do agree with you, Peace Dog. A lot of people should just go with the PC. You know, get you there's many options now to get a handheld type PC, and they're really cool. It won't work for me though. Let me explain why. I want to play Zelda, Mario, Metroid, Pokemon, Nintendo titles that will only come to this console. I get my money's worth out of a Nintendo console every time. Never been, even the Wii U, I got my money's worth. There was enough there. I played the original Breath of the Wild on there. I played the HD version of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on there. I played, what was it called? Super Mario 3D Land or World or whatever that one was called. That was fantastic. I loved it to death. I played Mario
Super
Kart.
Mario Deluxe or Wii U Deluxe or whatever.
Yep.
No, it wasn't Deluxe, still it was on the Switch, but you know.
But that version of it on the Wii U. Every Nintendo console I've got my money's worth because of the first-party titles. And then, the third-party titles are kind of a bonus. You get some good ones. And the Switch got a ton of good ones. Like Shin Megami Tensei 5 that we just showed has been only on that console up until now. I
love that horror series that ended up mostly on there, Fatal Frame.
Oh, Fatal
you have
Frame.
To, fight the ghost with the camera.
Yep. And then we got so many RPGs, dude. The Xenoblade series, dude, were so freaking good. That third one is one of the most incredible new JRPGs to release. And it's exclusive. Second party. So it's only going to come on Nintendo platforms. So we're going to get we'll get more Xenoblade. They're probably going to reboot the series, I would assume, after the ending to Xenoblade Saga 3. Yeah, man, I got plenty of playtime on my Switch. So I'm looking for a Switch 2, but I don't know if they can avoid the scalping or not. I'm not sure I believe that they can.
I don't think they can, dude. These scalpers are crazy.
What do you guys think?
Because there starts being more and more and more of them.
There's more of
other
them.
People are like, I'm going to do it.
That's the problem. It worked, so now there's even more people going to buy at least 10. You know what I'm saying? One person will buy 10 Switch 2s so they can make a little profit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, there's scalpers that live in my town and they'll buy anything to scalp. You know what I mean? Like, if you show up like randomly at a Walmart on a day that a new toy is being put out on the shelf, there's like a crowd of scalpers there, like fighting to get them all. It's crazy.
Yep.
And I live in a smaller town.
Yeah. Yeah, the scalping is it's a real pain, dude. It's ruining gaming. What do you guys think of the Apple Vision Pro? Too expensive. Cool technology, too expensive.
It's so expensive that I don't even care about it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of pretending like it doesn't exist. I'm waiting on somebody to release that technology at a more affordable price. That's all I got to say about it,
Yeah.
I feel like they priced it out of most people's reach on purpose.
Classic Apple technique.
It's Apple technique, which I'm a huge fan of my iPhone. Not a huge fan of Apple at all. Horrible company. Great product for that.
They ain't no good, y'all. They ain't no good.
So yeah, that's sad, but I think we have no choice, but we're going to see some nonsense with the Switch too. For a while. But now, if Nintendo could, because Sony did finally get ahead of the scalpers, right? It took, 2 years? 2.5 years?
It literally took for them to produce more chips. It was like soon as their chip production.
Oh, there was also that problem too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as the chip shortage ended, it was like all of a sudden it was easy to find a PS5.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can pull it off if they really have enough stock right up
Nintendo
front.
might be able to do it.
Like, I think that if somehow they make enough to where, like, every retail store that sells it, like, day one has, like, 200 of them in stock.
Right.
Might be all right.
And I think that is what they're going to try to do. I think that's exactly what they're going to try to do.
Because,
Nintendo could even offer discounts to retailers, right? Because retailers know these are going to fly off the shelf. It's Switch 2. The Switch is incredibly, ridiculously good sales. So, but they can even set up discounts. You got to remember, Nintendo likes to make a profit off of their consoles, but that's not hard for them to do because they're not using cutting-edge technology. And I know we don't know the specs of the Switch 2, but I promise you, it's not cutting-edge technology. It's not. It's not going to be. Nintendo don't do that game no more. They want easy to develop for, so they get lots of third-party. They want it to look crisp and good enough on a TV and definitely on the handheld mode. And they want it to be an affordable price. So they could set up they could just flood the market. And honestly, scalpers would then lose, which would be fantastic for them to lose a bunch of money because they bought 1,000 Switch 2s, and it doesn't matter because they're going to have to sell them back for less than they paid for. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, but moving on, so we can get through all this news. Steve, this is a really long video. You don't have to pull it if you don't want to. I'm just going to kind of be skipping through it. We're going to be talking about the Monsters and Memories, which is an upcoming MMO that I'm super excited about. So, Steve, do you know anything about this game?
Yeah,
another rotation.
For some, I'm pretty sure the very first time you ever streamed this game, I actually was watching that
right,
stream.
You were. So it's a very old school approach to MMO design.
I kept making mazes and monsters jokes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. So it's not trying to look incredible. It's trying to remind you of an old MMO, but in its own quirky way, It does look good. I don't know how else to say it. For an old school boomer like myself, as the young kids call me, even though I'm not really a boomer, it looks good. I like it. And they've been working on the druid class, and they're kind of showing off here. And I'm just going to kind of skip through it a little bit. He's playing, looks like a halfling. And they also show off some new biomes, but I don't know if it's in this video. But if you have
like a little beetle.
Yeah, it looks charming. That's right. That's what they're kind of going for. And it's reminiscent. It's like what you thought EverQuest looked like, but actually this looks way better than EverQuest. One thing...
It's funny how you misremember how games look.
Yeah, in your memory, you think they look better than they did.
Wait, what's the game called again?
Monsters and Memories.
Oh, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And I love the particle effects, that old school kind of design to spell effects.
Yeah.
I did want to show this, though. Did anybody else notice this frog lock at the beginning?
Like from EverQuest? Those are in EverQuest, right?
Do you see that at the very beginning of the video, Steve, or on the stream? That looks really freaking good. Is this from the game? This looks really freaking stinking good, dude. Like, if they said that this model right here, I'm going to be honest with you, if EverQuest was like, hey guys, EverQuest 3's coming, and this was the only thing they showed was this Froglock model right here, I'd be like, freaking sweet! You know what I mean? Like, I would get hyped. That looks good. That looks good. Look at the shine on his freaking reptilian body. It looks great. I don't know. This is their model. That's all I know. This is their model. It looks freaking cool, dude.
You've played a bunch of it now, right?
Yeah, I played quite a bit. I played about as much of it as a person could have.
You like it?
I love it, dude. It's freaking fun as crap.
Cool. Has it come much farther since that,
dude,
initial?
They are absolutely killing it with how fast. It's unbelievable how fast it's come along.
That's cool. Because remember when you first played it?
Yeah.
It was like...
There wasn't too much. It was still more than I expected, because the first time I played it, they were like, hey, we're just testing to see if people can log in. You know, like they're just testing how many people can log in. But we actually got to play and kill stuff and level up and found dungeons and actually played it, you know, and I was like, dang. And then, like, they went dark for about, I don't know, maybe a month, and then they brought the servers back up. We weren't expecting in a month they'd gotten too much done. There was tons more in the game. More classes, more abilities, more quests, more things that worked in the game, more places to go, just a ton of stuff. And we ended up playing the crap out of it. We don't have a release date for it, but man, they're pumping it out, dude. They're doing no fundraising. It's all coming out of their pockets so far. Really excited for this game, though. Really excited for it.
That's awesome.
All right.
Mazes and monsters and mazes and memories and monsters.
Next up, I don't know if everybody heard about this or not, but No Man's Sky Omega. Have you guys seen this?
Dude, it makes me kind of want to try to get into that game when it comes out.
All right.
It looks cool.
Let's check this out. Let's check out Omega. See what it's all about here. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Combat and board them to demand control.
This is, I expect to be able to do similar things in Starfield, but with better graphics.
To bring provisions with them.
More realistic.
Yeah, me too.
That's not what we got.
Me too.
Our journey continues.
No Man's Sky is the largest map of any game ever. Yeah, and it's pretty cool that they're offering an option where so let me get this straight. Some of you say you played this version. It sounds like to me that this is like a free way to play a chunk of No Man's Sky to get you interested so that you hopefully buy the game and get to explore the entire galaxy. Is that pretty much what they're going for here? But it's also got some new content in it too.
I had heard that there was a what did I read about it? I read something like that there was some sort of introduction to like
this was a one-time event.
Mass multiplayer vibe. Oh, it's a one-time event.
Is that right, guys? According to what I'm reading now, February 15th through the 19th, this was a one-time event where everybody got to play. Is that what it was? It looks really good, though. Whatever's going on here. The redemption arc that never ends. No Man's Sky is the gaming definition of, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, seeing how well this game has been supported over the years is why I'm so excited for Light No Fire, which is their next game, which is more of like a fantasy game. Right? Everybody knows about that?
Right. Dude, I'm really interested in the fantasy game.
Yeah, Light No Fire, I'm showing it now. This looks really good. And it's kind of the same kind of multiplayer where it kind of gives you the vibe that there's people everywhere because you're getting updates on, people doing that. And hopefully, I'm hoping that there's a little bit of that kind of phasing technology so you run across random people when you're exploring the world. I'm really hoping for that. The graphics look incredible, though, and it's fantasy, so it's more up my alley.
Yeah, same. I like sci-fi games, but it's almost like they have to do it in a very specific way for me to maximally enjoy it.
Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. I agree with that, too. That bird taking off there looks sweet.
Oh, I know. This looks so cool.
Yeah, this is how you do a multiplayer game. You know what I mean?
This may turn out to be my favorite survival game of all time when it comes out.
Yeah, me too. I could see it definitely easily becoming that. It just looks so good, man. Just an infinite. It's like an infinite kind of fantasy game that you can just play forever because there's always going to be places you haven't seen because of the technology they're using, which is similar to No Man's Sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought No Man's Sky was cool, but, sci-fi it just doesn't grab me like fantasy does. So seeing that now their next game is fantasy, and these races I think look cool, like the rabbit people and all the weird creatures. You can play as them, too, it looks like. So I think it's cool. And if they support this, even 50% of how well they supported No Man's Sky, then this is going to be a good time for a long time. You know what I mean?
It looks awesome.
Because of No Man's Sky, we can actually believe Sean Murray this time. It's true. Or at least we hope we can. Or at least we know even if it releases as trash, we'll at least feel like we know they're going to fix it.
They're going to fix it. They'll fix it.
They'll fix it. It'll be good. Come back in a couple of years, folks. All right. I hate to beat a dead horse, guys, but that is what I do. So next thing I want to talk about is the history, because we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in a few days. And I am so hyped, guys, for Final Fantasy VII. But I do want to go back. I want to go back and talk about the what if, okay? I want to talk about the what if. We got a video here talking about it, which I haven't seen yet, but I don't need to see to know that this is something I think about all the time. And that is, what if it would have come out on the Nintendo 64? Right?
What if?
Final Fantasy was on Nintendo consoles for a long time. They were released on the Nintendo, then Super Nintendo, and everybody expected naturally it would come to the Nintendo 64 cartridge. Their vision ended up going to PlayStation. Actually, I don't know if they're going to talk about in this video or not, but they actually approached Sega before they approached Sony, and unfortunately, during the Sega Saturn's time, that freaking jerk was in office, which he just passed recently, so maybe I shouldn't call him a jerk, but he was a jerk, whether he passed away or not, because he said, no, the Sega Saturn isn't for nerdy RPG fans.
Oh my gosh.
You stupid idiot. You freaking fool. We could have had Final Fantasy VII on the Sega Saturn. But anyway, biggest upset of my life. Here we go. Let's see what's up with this. You ready, Steve?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Fantasy VII, a game that some regard as the best Final Fantasy. Some may even credit its success as to why the new contender, the Sony PlayStation, defeated the veteran Nintendo in the console wars. But history might have played out very differently if Final Fantasy VII stuck to its original intended platform, the Nintendo 64. While the PlayStation
It would have been a
brand
different
is
game
nowadays
altogether.
heavily tied to the mainline Final Fantasy brand, as a sort of poster child back in the mid-90s, Final Fantasy was very much seen as a Nintendo series, with Final Fantasy 1 to 6 all appearing on Nintendo platforms exclusively up to then. So a sudden move to the PlayStation sent shocks and ripples through the gaming world back then. But this wasn't always the
I'm
case,
gonna pause it.
as the game
Dude, I was shook when I saw that report in a magazine that it was not that it was going to Sony, like for sure. Like the next Final Fantasy will be on PlayStation. I was shook. I did not think when the Sega Saturn launched first, then PlayStation, then the 64 came out a couple years later, if I remember it right. I did not think the Sony's PlayStation. I thought it was going to be another. We had seen this a lot back then. You got to remember, we'd seen Philips try to jump in with the CDI, which was a big flop. No offense, Mr. C, I know you love it, but you know it was a flop. We had, what's some other companies, Steve? There's a bunch of
Atari Jaguar.
Atari tried to make a comeback. What's some more? There was a bunch
3DO
of them. The 3DO thing. It was, and Neo Geo, even though Neo Geo was pretty sick, it was a flop overall. It was too expensive. We had seen this so many times that when I heard Sony's coming, I was like, oh, here we go. Another company trying to get in the middle of Sega and Nintendo. Yeah, right. It's not going to work. So when I had to make a choice, Sega Saturn or PlayStation, it was a no-brainer as a Sega Genesis lover. Now, if Nintendo and I'm not even gonna lie, I love Sega, but by the end of the Genesis, I was already understanding the Super Nintendo was more powerful, right? There was no doubt in my mind. Like Donkey Kong Country, it was just starting to do stuff where I was like, oh my gosh. And Legend of Zelda, and I was a huge fan of Zelda and the Final Fantasy series. So if Nintendo would have released at the same time as Sega Saturn, I would have had I don't know what I would have picked. But it was an easier decision for me because Nintendo was like way far out. We knew it wasn't coming out for a while, and it even got delayed past when we thought it was coming out. So it was an easy decision for me. I'm picking the Sega Saturn, right? So anyway, let's continue.
Was heavily attempted for the N64 before the move. What happened that led to Nintendo losing such a crucial game to newcomer Sony? Today on Gaming History, we explore how Nintendo almost got and lost Final
and the
Fantasy VII.
TurboGrafx.
Oh, and TurboGrafx, that was another one, yep.
Chapter 1. The creation of the 7th Fantasy. Final Fantasy VI had just released in 1994 worldwide exclusively on the Super Nintendo, a game that the creator of Final Fantasy, Hironobu Sakaguchi, considered as the greatest game in the universe.
And it was at that time.
However, despite that, while the game was a commercial success in Japan, it was not so much in the West. But this was normal at the time, as many RPGs in the West had minimal success, with gaming being
hardly anybody was even talking about RPGs at that time. I remember
except for those kids playing Tetris.
I felt like a freak for liking them back then,
also
actually.
not so mainstream yet. However, the developers at Squaresoft sought to continue on and make the next
how he
game
had that
in the
Wile E.
series,
Coyote.
Final Fantasy VII. Being that it was 1994, the
He had
Super
a Wile E.
Nintendo
Coyote
still
stuffed
had
animal
some life
hanging
left
up on his
within it,
desk.
and so the target platform was clear for Squaresoft, with the first 6 entries finding modest to outstanding success on these Nintendo platforms. The 7th Fantasy was to also
the
be
PlayStation
another
came
entry
out
for it.
as
such,
because
plans
of that
started out
thing
for
with
Final
Nintendo.
Fantasy VII
I don't
as
blame
yet
Nintendo
another
for that,
2D
though.
entry, and went as far as to even develop a 2D
Look at that,
prototype
dude.
too. But
what
eventually,
the heck?
development was
I've
put
never
on
seen
hold
that before.
as Sakaguchi and the
Me
team
neither.
went on to finish Chrono Trigger on the SNES. At
Chrono
this
Trigger,
point,
dude.
it was now 1995, and the next generation of consoles were either released or coming out soon. Nintendo, in this case, was starting to push the idea of their new console, the Ultra 64.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it again real quick. Bro, I cannot tell you when I played the 64, Mario 64 for the first time. And I thought for sure, by that point, we already knew about Final Fantasy. But by the time it actually came out, the 64. But I remember thinking, that was the first thing I thought of when I realized how crazy this technology was I can't wait until an RPG comes out on this system. And it never happened. It literally, it's the only Nintendo console of all time that not one actual normal turn-based RPG for real came out on the system. Do not mention Quest 64. Don't mention it.
There it is.
Don't even talk about it. Because when they mentioned Quest 64, I was like, well, it looks a little cheesy, but it'll probably be good. And then I played it. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, why didn't I just get a PlayStation? That's what I was thinking. Because I still didn't get a PlayStation. I still didn't get one yet. The 64 came out, and I still didn't have my own PlayStation. I had to play at other people's house. I picked the stupid Nintendo 64, which I love it. I do love it. Mario 64 is cool. Ocarina of Time, one of my favorite games of all time. I do love the 64, but we never got even one single actual RPG on the freaking whole system. It's unbelievable. How did they let that happen? They're a Japanese company. How did they let that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It drives me nuts to this day. I have a 64 sitting right there, and it still pisses me off every time I look at it that nobody made a real RPG for it.
I feel like maybe for developers that there must have just been something too appealing about the disc-based systems.
Oh, and I can understand because the cutscenes.
So many good ones came out.
All that space you have for, I get it. But nobody wanted to challenge to make a cool one on a cartridge? Come on. Come on, dude. It's unbelievable. Dude, I'm not counting Hybrid Heaven either. I'm not counting that. It's okay.
What the heck? I don't even remember that one.
It's okay, but it ain't no RPG. It's like a weird thing, you know what I mean? It's cool, but it's more like Metal Gear Solid, but with some turn-based. A little bit. A little bit. It's still action-based. You gotta remember that the Super Nintendo was the freaking king of the RPG, right? And a lot of us got our start on RPGs on the Nintendo. So it made perfect sense, like, this is what we can do with 16-bit. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6. Freaking, I could go on and on all day about the RPGs on the Super Nintendo. I wouldn't have ever imagined if an angel would have descended from heaven on the day I played Mario 64 and told me straight up there will never be a good RPG on this entire system. I would have laughed in his face. Because that seemed impossible to happen on a Nintendo console.
And the closest thing we got to a good one on N64.
Ogre Battles?
Yeah, Ogre Battle 64.
Yeah, that's the close, but that's a strategy game, which I'm
tactical.
I'm just now starting to get into the tactical RPGs. I was not into them back then. I wanted an RPG, you know, JRPG. Anyway, we'll continue video, but that heats me up to this day. It's unbelievable. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Of its third-party partner developers in order to start developing games. For Sakaguchi and the team, this was a big step for them to make. They had already been comfortable with the 2D prototype, so they made a strategy on either continuing on and getting the game done
They're showing that demake for
versus the idea of basically restarting development and following the trend that everyone else
which is really impressive,
by going fully 3D.
Yeah, it honestly
the
is.
decision was clear. Take the riskier 3D path on a next-generation console. Chapter 2. Making it work with the N64. The Nintendo 64 was the clear option for Final Fantasy VII, with both Squaresoft's clear good ties with Nintendo and how their game had shared modest success, even if not so much in the West. Their plan was to make a Final Fantasy game that would truly be a leap into the third dimension, with everything from massive maps to well put together cutscenes. And so Sakaguchi and the team decided to run some tests using machines they bought from Silicon Graphics Inc., the very corporation that was developing the GPU for the N64. An excellent test to see how the game
here's where they were trying it out to
the
see what they could do.
Graphics before full development can begin. This test utilized Final Fantasy VI characters in a battle against a golem. One of Sakaguchi's biggest fears by going 3D was how unsure he was at what 3D battles would look like. This test showed how cinematic and well put together battles can be in the third dimension, despite it being turn-based combat. And so this tech demo was later shown in 1995 at the annual SIGGRAPH conference in Los Angeles, labeled as Final Fantasy VI, the interactive CG game. Of course, media outlets blew this tech demo to huge proportions. Magazines such as GameFan literally labeled it as actual screenshots of a game.
Yeah, they claimed it was a real game.
Nintendo's Ultra 64, despite it being Final Fantasy VI characters on screen.
They probably didn't even know
that.
that.
Plague Final Fantasy VII again.
I bet the journalists didn't even play Final
Fantasy
Fantasy VI. They probably didn't even know.
While the tech demo was very well received, when the team sat down to actually make the game on the N64 hardware, a string of problems were soon realized. Real-time tests began to see how well the N64 could achieve their plans for this gargantuan game. One thing Final Fantasy VII is well known for is the drastic shift from simple low-poly overworld models on a pre-rendered background to battles featuring high poly models duking it out with a cinematic camera. During this test, this very transition to high poly models was just simply not working out, as the N64 had difficulty rendering these models at an acceptable frame rate, especially with the enemy monster, the Behemoth, that featured 2,000 polygons on it alone.
2,000 polygons.
However, the other major problem was the cart size, being that this is an RPG.
I want to pause it. This guy's actually a little wrong. You can look at the technology in the Nintendo 64. It could render polygons better than the PlayStation. What actually was the problem was the size, which he's getting into now, of what could fit on a cartridge. The interesting thing about cartridges is, like, on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, they were expanding the capabilities of the actual consoles with technology built into each cartridge, right? So like Donkey Kong Country or Star Fox, for example, on the Super Nintendo was not actually possible with the Super Nintendo's architecture on the inside of what the Super Nintendo had. Those games came with graphics chips built into the cartridge that it utilized, right? And they'd have to charge more for games like Chrono Trigger. I think they just expanded the RAM or so. I don't really know. But they would charge more for those games many of the times to recoup the cost of including technology literally in the cartridge, right? So could they have done it without cutscenes? You know what I mean? Like in-game cinematics instead? On the 64, I actually think they could have. But that's not what they envisioned. They wanted these grand scale cutscenes like we ended up getting for the time. And superior load times, yeah.
It would be a big game in comparison to the N64's planned games that were mainly platformers or adventure games. A regular N64 cartridge at launch could provide between 4 to 12 megabytes of space, a very small amount for a game of this caliber. However, Nintendo was also making an add-on for the N64 called the 64 Disk Drive. This would let developers make games on 64 megabyte magnetic discs. A lot better than the regular size, but it was still nowhere near enough for what Squaresoft wished to make, as they also wished to feature many pre-rendered backgrounds and FMV cutscenes that would drastically increase the size of the game.
Ridiculous amount of pre-rendered backgrounds stored on there too.
In fact, Squaresoft believed they would require well over 30 magnetic discs to achieve what was just 2 PlayStation discs worth of content. The team was between a rock and a hard place of somehow making this dream game on this limited machine, especially since they had their relationship with Nintendo at jeopardy otherwise. However, while in this hard spot, an unlikely friendly face showed up with open arms to this company with a deal they couldn't refuse.
Hi, how are you?
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to support us and keep creating new videos. Chapter 3, all aboard the PlayStation. With a new console on the market, Nintendo had another competitor on the market too. The Sony PlayStation. Sony had been working hard for the past few years on gathering many major and minor third-party studios to make games for their platform in order to not be another failed console like many before them, while also providing said third party with a safe haven free from tough constraints put on them by first-party developers, namely Nintendo, and providing a powerful enough machine that runs on high-capacity discs to make whatever game they wish. During 1995, Squaresoft was in a jam with how they could make their dream game, Final Fantasy VII, a reality with N64's tough limitations. The team was at this point considering other consoles, as virtually anything else of that generation had proper disk space. Whether it be Sega's new Saturn system, or
Sega
even
Saturn.
the idea of making
Oh
Final
gosh, that
Fantasy
made me
VII
sad. It
a
showed the guy
PC
straight
game
up putting a
altogether.
CDR in
But
the
soon,
Sega
among
Saturn.
Sony's contact to third-party developers, they visited Squaresoft and offered to work with them in making their game for their PlayStation console. Intrigued with this proposition, Squaresoft and the team put together some tests on the Sony PlayStation, handling both the disk capacity needed, even if disk switching was required, and even handling those.
Which, hang on, I'm gonna pause it here. So probably everybody knows this, but just in case you don't, I learned this at Steve's house when we were young. Steve had a disc that was scratched and wouldn't play. Remember that, Steve?
Yeah.
By the time I met him, not obviously when he originally played the game, but by the time I met Steve, you know, he got the game at launch, Final Fantasy VII, 1997. Me and Steve met in 1999-ish, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So he'd already had it for 2 years, and one of his discs, I think it was disc 3, right?
I think so. I don't remember the exact disc, but yeah, I think so.
So it was scratched, right? And so the way he would play the game is he would get, when a cutscene would happen, what would you do? You'd real quick open it up and put another disc in to load back into the game, because the whole game was actually on each disc.
Yeah.
The cutscenes were the only thing that why it had to have 3 discs. The whole game was on every disc, besides the cutscenes.
Yeah, you could like switch out the disc and it would load.
Based on that knowledge is why I say things like it could have been on 64. Now, 16 megabytes, that's true at launch, but there was already technology where they could go up to 64 megabytes on that cartridge. It would have just cost more money to make each individual game. They'd have lost profits. You see what I'm saying? All I'm saying is they could have. I think they could have, with in-game cutscenes, etc. I think they could have done it. Maybe it would have had been 2 cartridges too. They would have
been crazy.
It would have charged more money for the game. It wouldn't have been I think it was $49.99 at that time was stereotypical prices. It would have probably had to be like Chrono Trigger released at $80, $79.99. They probably would have
seems
had to
so
do that.
crazy to think about that Chrono Trigger did back then.
Yeah. But it felt worth it at that time. You knew you were getting this massive game that you'd be playing for a long time. You know what I mean? It sucked to try to convince your parents to buy an $80 game, right?
Yeah.
But you knew you were getting something crazy good. You know what I mean? All right, I'm going to hit play again. 3, 2, 1, go.
For battles without a drop in frame rate, the decision was very clear for the team. While executives saw eye to eye with Sakaguchi and his team, a
What's
major
up,
hurdle was still
What's up,
ahead of
Dwimble?
them, facing Nintendo to tell them this awful news. And so, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the president of Squaresoft Masafumi Miyamoto, and lead programmer Ken Narita set up a meeting with the infamous iron-fisted president of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi. Hiroshi Yamauchi was well known to third-party developers.
It's like an old mob
basically
leader,
a
wasn't he?
tyrant who had placed many restrictions
I think he
on
was,
them
if you
on
go
what
back
they
in
He was in the
can
Yakuza.
develop, how
Yeah.
much they can develop, and even who can sell their games. So as such, when the trio met with Yamauchi, who greeted them very warmly with an expensive bento meal and beer, that is when they broke the news to him that Final Fantasy VII was now being made for the Sony's PlayStation. Yamauchi stayed professional to this revelation and simply wished them the best with their endeavors.
I cannot
To
believe they
Sakaguchi,
let him go
the
like
meeting
that,
went
dude.
better than expected, as no bitter feelings were exchanged.
Never come
but
back.
in reality, Nintendo was rather furious. In
Yeah,
fact, it went
I
as
guarantee
far as
they were.
Nintendo making more
Never
or less
come back.
passive-aggressive remarks to Squaresoft, stating, "Oh, we don't need that," and that Nintendo's
they didn't come back till the
philosophy being that
Switch.
their
Dude, I'm
platform
pausing it.
exists-
The fact that Nintendo, we don't want you, caused this right here, caused a major problem between Nintendo and Square that took forever to mend.
Well, I take it back what I said. They did have games on the GameCube and the Wii,
Yeah, but
they
not-
were like weird spin-offs.
They were weird spin-offs that felt like you were getting the leftover scraps. It would be like if it would be like if your girlfriend was going out and giving it all up to everybody in the neighborhood that wasn't you and your friend. Well, I don't want to see your friends. That's getting kind of weird. Well, it wasn't you, but then she would come home and give you an HJ. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was like for Nintendo fans getting the scraps
pretty
of
much.
Final Fantasy. All right, 3, 2, 1, hit play again.
for their own first-party games, and if third-party developers also wish to make games on it, they would go, okay, you can do it. And if they don't want to do it, then they go, we don't want you. It was clear, a major bridge had been burnt. What was once a very strong tide that started back on the NES, that in fact practically saved them with their first Final Fantasy game, was now gone.
Dude, that
in
first Final
exchange,
Fantasy,
they
dude,
could finally
so good.
create the unhindered vision they had with a long game featuring FMV cutscenes and cinematic battles with high polygonal models. It was an exchange that was well worth the sacrifice.
Yeah,
Chapter
they made the
4,
right choice.
High payoff
in
and
the
bad
end.
blood. And so Final Fantasy VII released on January 31st, 1997 in Japan, and September
Which I'll get
7th,
to that question in a minute.
1997 in North America for the Sony PlayStation, with all that Sakaguchi and the team had wished for being fulfilled. They had made their first 3D Final Fantasy game, and it succeeded with flying colors.
Yep, they made the right
Not only was
decision.
it a success in
All right, I want to
Japan,
pause
as
it though.
per Final-
Would this PlayStation? I think we've pretty much seen enough, to be honest. Would the PlayStation have succeeded like it did if it wasn't for Final Fantasy coming to it? I don't think it would have.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's when I was planning on buying a Nintendo 64, and as soon as they announced that 7 was going to be on the PlayStation, I bought a PlayStation instead. It's what made me buy a PlayStation.
And for people who were there in that sphere at that time, we all know that the PlayStation was not all that impressive yet.
Nobody cared about it at all. At
Nobody
first,
really
'cause
cared. There was
it
like
just like some random console.
I remember making fun of a guy who had a PlayStation in the early days. I'd have my Sega Saturn, he'd pick PlayStation. I remember literally me and a bunch of other people laughing at him because his favorite game was a golf game. Because there wasn't a lot of games on it yet. There wasn't much, nothing really impressive yet. And I remember we literally laughed at him because he was playing some golf game. While we were playing like Virtua Fighter, Virtua Cop, Panzer Dragoon. We're like, dude, turned out that guy made the right choice. He ended up getting to play Final Fantasy VII while I couldn't. Twisted Metal was a good one, but that was way later. And Battle Arena Toshinden was also on Sega Saturn. I actually owned that game. It came out first on it, if I'm remembering right. So
I remember one of the early games on PlayStation was a fighting game of Street Fighter, but it was of Street Fighter the movie.
Dude, yeah, that was on Sega Saturn too. I
one?
rented that game on Sega Saturn, actually. What's funny is if you go back, that game actually wasn't that bad. It was just that Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Street Fighter was really smooth frame rate kind of game, and this was kind of like that Mortal Kombat CGI character nonsense, and they tried to put the story in there, and it was really cheesy, and there'd be little cutscenes from the movie, which wasn't even a very good movie. So it was a video game. It was a movie based on a video game that was a video game based on a movie that was based on a video game. You know? Yeah. It just went too far. It went too far. But yeah, I like to think about Final Fantasy VII a lot because that changed the console wars. It really did. If you're going to name one major point that changed the way we look at consoles, I think that was it. Final Fantasy coming to PlayStation. I don't feel like there's been a more, impact to consoles than that. I think that was the most impactful decision in all of in all of console history. It changed everything. That was the end of Sega. When that happened right there, it's pretty much good night Sega, to be honest. That was the end of them. They might as well just shut the doors at that time. It was over. I'm glad they didn't because we got some banger hits out of them, but they could have. If they had a crystal ball, that was the end of them. Yep, Street Fighter, the movie, the game, yeah. Get a little far in the weeds.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
We do have a couple more things we want to talk about.
Do we? What else do we got?
We're going to talk about some McDonald's thing real quick.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So
yeah, McDonald's is doing this thing.
Uh-huh.
The stuff that's going on right now with all the tie-in of the McDonald's manga and anime, they're actually having an anime produced
about McDonald's.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 short episodes, and it's actually being done by like a really big anime studio that's responsible for a lot of big anime like Tokyo Ghoul and Naruto
Is this a
and
push?
stuff like that.
Is this a push to make McDonald's more accepted in Japan, or is this just what is?
They're just trying to be cool. They're just
trying to be cool. Okay.
So they're changing to McDonald's for a little bit.
I think what really happened here is after Ronald McDonald, they're trying to steer everybody's attention anywhere else. That's what I think's going on. Could
be. I think that is right. And then whoever came up with this, I feel like that they watched The Devil as a Part-Timer and was like, this is hilarious. Let's do something with this.
I gotta say that I think this is just more evidence that we live in a weird timeline. That's what I feel like. So right here in this article, right, it shows this McDonald's logo, which we went and got. My wife went and got drinks. Actually, I got one right now, but this one doesn't have a logo. But my wife went and got drinks, and I noticed it on the table the other night where it had the W instead of the M, and it said McDonald's, and there was all kinds of anime cartoons all over the bag, and I was like, what is going on here?
I got one here, but it won't show up because my camera. You can kind of see a little glimpse of it, though.
But I think this right here just really nails it into it's just like the final nail in the coffin, right? Like McDonald's right there, this news, and then in this article they said one user on the social media platform X, previously known as Twitter. I just feel like that whole X thing combined with McDonald's is just really sending me into this bizarro land that we're not supposed to be here. You know? We're from somewhere else, and somehow we're here. This is weird.
Man, it's a weird time.
Is it special?
My favorite thing about this, though.
I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah, there's a special sauce you can get. But dude, my favorite thing about this is like on my Facebook feed, for example, I'm seeing people that don't understand what's going on and what they think is happening is cracking me up. Like I saw one person saying that what happened and they're saying it like as matter of fact, like they know that this is what's going on. Like they're explaining it to everyone else. Like, oh, what's going on is they accidentally sent the Japanese McDonald's cups to the American McDonald's, and that's what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, but in Japan they don't call it McDonald's.
It's McDonald's there too.
There's people being like, oh, the manufacturers of the cups must have messed up, and now they're just using them. Stuff like that. Like, just Google it, guys. It's out there.
I think this is a little bit weirder than the Burger King video games. Those were tongue-in-cheek, and I could feel it at that time. This feels strange to me. So if you look into this article, they're promising at one McDonald's location, an immersive dining experience will be held. What the hell are they talking about?
Dude, who knows?
An immersive dining
it's McDonald's.
Experience? Well, now it would be Wick Dumpsters. This is just weird to me. But why did they change it to Wook? Why not just be McDonald's?
You know what they should have did is they should have changed it to they should have went all out and changed it to the McDonald's that's in the anime, The Devil's a Part-Timer, and called it McRonald's. That's what they should have did. They should have went that route. They should have did a crossover actually with Devil's a Part-Timer. Have you ever seen that before?
No.
It's hilarious, dude. It's this anime about where the devil, quote unquote, it's obviously not the Christian version, but like the Devil King or whatever, right? Like he was banished for like thousands of years to like another world because he got beat in like a holy war or whatever, and then when he figures out how to get back to the earth, he comes back as a human, right?
Okay.
And he realizes real soon, he's like, crap, if I'm going to have a headquarters and a base here, I'm going to have to get a place to rent. So he goes and gets a job at McDonald's, and he becomes obsessed with it. He's like, soon I'll be promoted to the manager. And it's hilarious, dude.
That's
it's hilarious.
Funny. Well, that's being funny. You know what I mean? I can't tell if this is trying to be humorous or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that they're trying to be cool, is what I think.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to be cool. I don't think it's even a joke.
It comes across as weird to me.
Dude, I like their characters. Do you see?
Yeah, I did see the characters on the bag. I don't see them in this article, but I did see them on the bag the other day. I read some of the thing and was like, what is going on? Yeah, this is odd. So Witcher says, let me explain. The Large Hadron Collider was cranked up to 11, and now we've split in an alternate reality. That's what I feel like. And also, Witcher, I'm going to answer your question from earlier. Witcher asked, is being a streamer actually harder than being working in an oil rig? The answer is no. No, it is not.
I wouldn't have thought that, but okay.
What we have here, you'll hear YouTubers or streamers, you'll hear them, hey, look, different people have different problems. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to knock on that or anything, but what I will say is that unfortunately, due to whatever reason, we have a very weak-minded society that doesn't understand how hard life used to be. And any amount of effort and or work, the expectations were different than what they received, okay? So, like, people thought, they watched YouTubers, and they thought, oh my gosh, this would be so easy. This would be such a fun time, because they thought you would just whip a video together real quick, like, and everybody would love it. And what the reality is, or that they could just play a game on camera and everybody will love it, right? When the reality is that there's setup, there's it's not about the game, it's about you communicating with chat and talking to chat, and about the presence that you give and the amount of effort you put into it, and your personal your personality, and that making videos takes a long time to make a good video, and trying to get people to watch it is very difficult, and it's not magic, and it's not everybody wins, and it's not fair or balanced or anything. Doesn't bother me, because I worked in the real world for my entire life and worked the shitty jobs and worked in a ditch digging and grunting and covered in oil and all the things out there, and sweated out in the sun, and I did the hard things, and I put in the hours at all those jobs, right? And my last job, I put in 12 to 16 hours a day, and tried to make YouTube on the side until I grew an audience. And so now putting in 12 to 16 hours on YouTube, and that's it, is awesome for me, right? And
which is a lot, and most people don't expect that you have to do that much work.
But you do, and you can't, and you will feel guilty for even taking, like, sometimes I'll actually take a Sunday off. Usually not. I'll get something done on Sunday as well, usually. But sometimes I will literally be like, all right, haven't really seen my family in like a month. I'm gonna take the Sunday off and spend time with them. But guess what? I get behind. I pay for that. There's a pay. You will pay for taking any time off, right? And I'm running 2 channels now, which is fine. I'm loving it. But yeah, that's the problem. We got people that don't understand how hard real life is, and they whine and cry about that they have to put that once they get in, they start actually realizing how much work it takes, and they don't get automatic success, and they don't get automatic money, and they don't get, they get 5 views on their video that they spent 30 minutes making, and they feel like that's not fair, right? And that's the world we live in.
And the thing is like, you have to just be so consistent if you want to try to do it. Like, I understood going in what it took, and that's also the reason why I ended up not being able to really do that much, is because I run 2 businesses, and doing YouTube is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I just thought that I could handle it at first, but it turns out owning 2 restaurants is too chaotic.
Heck yeah.
To be able to commit to it.
Yeah, you're owning them, so everything's on your shoulders, so. Well, that's all the news we had.
There was one more thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to pop a trailer for it down in here. I don't know. I want to see what everyone thinks. I want to see what you think. This game right here that just came out is getting really good reviews, and that makes me wonder if it's any good. Have you heard of this game, Banishers, Ghost of New Eden?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't really looked into it yet. I don't think.
Dude, it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be awesome.
You got the trailer pulled up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Would you banish me?
I would.
Yeah, he's the owner of them.
Again for dying before I do. We are Banishers. We end suffering for those who live. We bring closure to those who don't.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to mute this. That is definitely a song that is copyrighted. Putting a big
why they gotta do that?
It's a pretty song, though. Life to the living, death to the dead. Antia, help me! I'm not sure I can do this. Honor your oath or bring me back. But don't leave me like this. Something's there. So what is this? An open world action game? Ooh, I like that zombie. That looked good.
Apparently the story is, like, insanely good.
This game is out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Steam? Only?
Yeah.
Banish ghosts. Elevate souls. The choice is yours. Anybody played this in chat? I love you, Red Mac Wraith.
Dude, it's getting really good reviews. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Main character looks cool. Did it just come out?
Yeah.
Let's look up the reviews real quick. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden?
Yeah.
Let's see how it's doing here. Let's get up on Metacritic. Pretty darn good, 78. I mean, it's no Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but who can be?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Unique story about life and death told from the point of view of a detective duo. An enjoyable adventure with strong narrative focus. Beautifully created game. The story grabs you from the first moments and only gets better. The combat system is really bad, inspired by God of War, but with similarities to Vampire. This person didn't like it too much. What's it say? The story's fascinating up to a certain point, then it becomes boring and predictable. Okay, that guy didn't like it. But that's, you can't please everybody. Progression is enjoyable. As a fan of action RPGs, it's easily a worthwhile playthrough for the story-action blend for a AA studio. The graphics and voice acting are also done very well. For negatives, the game is slightly held back by somewhat janky but solid combat and backtracking that can be a bit tedious. If I was rating the combat by itself, it's a 3.5 out of 5. Lastly, some small personal gripes I had were later in the game. Most chests that would open would have like 30 currency. Okay, so an 8. Looks like it's doing pretty good, though. Most people say the story... Almost everybody said the story's good, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's just waiting for Rebirth. That's where I'm at, dude. Nothing...
Yeah, me too.
Literally nothing is going to satisfy me until I'm done with the Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I've just been, like, screwing around on games, waiting for it to come out and not playing anything serious.
Here's a problem with the reviews right here, right? I've heard nobody else say anything about this. This guy says, and I'm taking a wild stab in the dark, I haven't played the game. But he gave it a 0 and said the game can't even be bothered to load in one of the protagonist's model, so it spec plays Invisible Man. I can almost guarantee you this guy didn't update his graphics card. I can almost guarantee you that this guy did not update his graphics card since he bought it, and it causes issues in every game, and he runs around and gives them 0s for the problems that is not the game's fault. It's because he don't have the correct driver for his freaking graphics card.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you that and he gives it a 0. And it's not, nobody else is saying that. You know what I mean?
In my line of work, this guy right here, this is the guy that buys to-go food and then drives for 45 minutes before he eats it and then calls and wants a refund because it's cold.
Because it's cold, yeah. This is that kind of guy, yeah. Nathan Napalm, what do you need to get to get review copies? Be bigger. I need to be bigger. More subs, more views, stuff like that. I'm just now at the point where I get approached by the crappy level of offers for try our game. I've had a few of those. Like, hey, our game's coming out on this day. We'd like you to stream it and show it, right? And I'm not trying to be mean when I say crappy, but I'm saying like the lower tier, right? smaller
It's Raid
publishers.
Shadow Legends.
I get a lot of that, which really is crappy, but I don't want to crap on the people who have, because some of them are cool to me and my audience, right? But they're indie, small companies, stuff like that. And I'm just barely starting to get that. And to be honest, and I'm okay with this, that's why I started another channel that would have more appeal to more people. This just, what I cover isn't mainstream, right? I cover RPGs and I cover MMOs. And I specifically like old school MMOs, right?
Man, I don't even ever meet people anymore that plays MMOs anyway. It's like a rare breed now, it feels like.
I'm still growing, but I will never I'll never have 1 million subscribers, right? Unless a game comes out that I really do like, that I play a lot and people come. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. But looking into the future, it doesn't look like I'll ever be that guy with 1 million. If I get to 100,000, that'd be great. And I can live off that. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think of that? Oh, I already answered that. It did a little sound like something happened on Twitch, but I don't see an update. I came for Pantheon and stayed for the puppets. I never play games day one. They always have bugs. I wait a week and then buy play. I'm like that for mini games, but there's some I can't help it. Final Fantasy, I'm a fanboy. Zelda, fanboy. Of course, Nintendo, you're safe day one. You're safe with Nintendo on day one.
It's rare that there's some kind of game-breaking bug. If I don't even know if ever.
No, I think the closest Nintendo ever got was that Pokemon Scarlet.
Oh yeah,
but come on, people were also being dramatic.
But to be fair, that was developed by Game Freak.
That's not Nintendo, right?
Even though Pokemon is a Nintendo exclusive thing, it's like a company called Game Freak is developing the game and not in-house Nintendo.
Right. They just developed for Nintendo's consoles, specifically their second party or whatever,
Man.
So that's not even fair to blame on Nintendo, to be honest, although they could have stepped in and been like, hey guys, this ain't ready, But it wasn't that bad. People are also being dramatic. It wasn't that bad. It was on Switch, dude. That old, outdated hardware. You know what I'm saying? And I played it on day one and liked it and had fun. And yeah, I noticed that when things are really far away, they move at 5 frames.
Yeah.
But close up, what I had to pay attention to, it looked great, I didn't see any of the crazy, weird stuff that people were reporting. And I
a lot of those things got patched almost immediately.
Yeah. I'd rather pay $10 more for the joystick.
Issues playing it.
Oh,
my son still plays Pokemon Scarlet.
Yeah, it's a good game. Scarlet was good. I will agree with you on the joystick BS. The main reason that the whole drifting thing, I guess, pisses me off the worst is that this is because they won't spend like 3 cents on a piece of plastic, okay? So, for example, the Sega Dreamcast, okay? Technically before that, the 3D control pad on the Sega Saturn, okay, was the first analog joystick home console controller, right? And it had this little piece of plastic that cost less than 3 cents to make that kept it from ever drifting. The Dreamcast never drifted, right? Because they used that same crappy 3-cent technology. This has been known technology. Nintendo just recently said they're going to start doing that. They said they even went as far as to say it's going to up the cost of the controllers. So they're going to charge you an extra $10, I bet, for a less than 3-cent part.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
You know what's crazy though? I've owned like 8 Joy-Cons, right?
Right.
Because my kid has a Nintendo and I have one too, and every single one of them eventually got drift, and I fixed every single one of them using this stuff right here that I just posted in the
WD-40?
chat. I'm telling you, it works. It's contact cleaner. You have to get the electrical contact cleaner. If you just spray regular WD-40 in there, it'll probably break your controller.
Okay.
But it's an electrical contact cleaner, and you just take the little nozzle and stick it up under there and spray it in there.
Steve
and
has a video on it.
It's gone. It's gone.
Steve even made a video on how to fix it.
Yeah, and it really worked for every single one of my controllers.
We shouldn't have to even do that, though.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, because there should be the 3-cent technology Sega invented freaking in 1993 should just be used. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I never had no drift with any of
1995.
my PlayStation controllers over the years that had analog sticks, not once.
Right.
Ever.
The Nintendo 64 would get where it came loose. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It would just kind of wiggle. It still worked, but it would like jiggle around. It would like kind of flop, like like it needed some Blue Chew kind of feel to it. But it would work. You know, it felt weird though. And then drifting really kind of started with, from my memory, I never had a problem with PlayStation controllers or my Xboxes. The Switch and I've heard the PS5, although I haven't experienced that.
I've never had. I haven't got it yet either on the PS5. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I don't mean to, but I ended up accidentally being really rough on my PS5 controller. It's like falling from high heights onto the ground constantly, I feel like. And I'm like, shoot, dang it. And it's still going strong. And I'm always afraid I'm going to break it because they're kind of expensive.
And I see NG3 has a question there I want to answer. What do you think Embers Adrift needs to do to get a solid player base? To be honest with you, Embers Adrift does need a couple of things to actually hold a good... Which, by the way, they don't need as many players to sustain their world and to feel like an MMO and to feel like it's populated as a lot of other games because they only have one server. And because the world, and I'm not trying to knock the game, the zones are huge. They feel good to explore. There's a lot of dungeons in the game. But it is a smaller world than something like EverQuest or World of Warcraft, right? It's made by 8 people, you know what I'm saying? And it is a smaller game. So even with the lower player base, it feels okay right now. It does need more players, and here's what they need to do to get those. And I'm being dead serious. Caster class. People just want to play a freaking wizard, dude.
Yeah,
they like it.
Like wizards.
A lot of people like wizards, okay? It needs to take the brigand class and make it feel like a stealth class. Like, you can actually be invisible and sneak around, okay? People like to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's very popular and it would change the way we approach dungeons, etc. Both of these would completely change the game. Caster class, which is built into the lore. I've said 100 times how they could do it.
More fantasy.
Humans go ashen, you know what I'm saying, and then they cast, okay? Or make it a race. Make it that race from the other planet that's in the game, and they can regen, Ember Essence, which is the source of magic in that game. It has to have casters, man. They cannot get away with this. They got to do it. They got to. I don't care about what they think. They got to put a caster class in the game. Now, beyond those two things, mainly the caster, sure, the game needs more content, but they're already doing that. Every month we get a new zone or a new dungeon or a new this or that and the third. They're already doing that. The game is filling up in content-wise and already feels great right now. Also, if they really want, I don't know, 1,000 people to 3,000 people online almost at any time, caster classes would get them way up there. Another thing they're going to have to do is they're going to have to get that end game done. I know they're working on it. They're going to have to get that end game in there with some big, which there are bosses to fight at end game, but it's all one party content, right? They do need to do multi-parties. Like it takes 3 parties to fight this big giant boss, right? They do need more fantasy stuff in the game. You know, more creatures. There's a new one about to come out. They've been doing these things, but they need to get there.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of streams of the game, it's I just saw somebody mentioning more fantasy races.
Yeah.
Another thing about this game that when you're playing it, I don't think it's a bad thing. But when you're watching it and you don't play the game, like if you just are randomly watching on a stream, it does not look fun because most of the time it's a bunch of dudes standing around in the pitch black dark fighting stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and casting would fix that a lot. If you saw some magic spells exploding, you saw a fireball shooting down and lighting it up, because their lighting engine is dead gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely.
That stuff would look fantastic. And to be honest, they added those flares in the game, which helps you, like, if you're looking for your group and you're too far away from them to see where they're at, to find them, they can shoot a flare, and there's multicolors like red, blue, green, maybe some other colors I forgot. And it looks beautiful. It like lights up the ground and the trees, and it freaking shoots up in the sky, and it is drop dead gorgeous. So I can just imagine how good they can make the spell effects look. There is magic in the game. It's something you unlock at 20, but they're more for, because you only have a limited amount of Ember Essence that you have to refill by killing creatures in specific areas that turn ashen to refill it. And so the way you end up playing is you only use your magic for strategic times that you need it, right? So it still doesn't feel like you have real magic in the game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's saving their magic.
Is it a fantasy game or is it a sci-fi game?
It's a fantasy game. It's a low fantasy game. The reason they use the word sci-fi, I don't agree with the sci-fi thing, but the reason they do is because there's other planets. But here's the deal. That's normal in fantasy games, that there's some other planet.
Yeah, but dude, we don't, there could be something in the story we don't know yet. Like, for example, what if in a future update, the Earthlings show up from Earth and they have all kinds of technology?
Dude, I'd be
and
pissed.
Then guns are in the game.
Dude, I'd be pissed.
It could happen.
It could happen. That would be the end of me. Playing Embers of Drift, I'll be honest. That'd be the end of me. That's too cheesy. Like one time, me and my wife were watching this really, like, it wasn't like it was super high quality, but it was quality enough. And it was really cool. And it was kind of like it was kind of like a take on Bram Stoker's Dracula. I don't remember the name of the show, but we were watching it. And I was like, man, I really kind of like this a lot. I'm getting into this. This is cool. You know, and it was like during that time period, you know what I mean? It was cool. And then all of a sudden, at the end of one of the episodes, Dracula, like, I don't remember how this all goes down, but he like wakes up and there's like a helicopter flies by with like lights shining on him. And then it zooms out and there's like a city, and it's like in New York City today. And I was like, I turned it off. That was the end of it. I never watched it anymore, or whatever that show was. That was the end of it. As soon as I saw that, I just turned it off. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Let me have my fantasy. And once you set the pace and you set the tone and then you change it to suddenly be like, oh, it turns out, like, bro, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. That's like a bait and switch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just got to go into high fantasy is what they got to do. More races would be great, but I don't think that would bring in a ton of people. If they still don't have casters, but they have like 5 races, that's not going to matter that much. You know what I'm saying?
You know what they need to do? They need to bring in races that nobody's done before.
That would be cool.
Like weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like an oyster race.
Yeah. An oyster race.
That'd be awesome.
That's what everybody wants to play, obviously.
They all play as
we're talking about Embers of Drift Zucan. And I love Embers of Drift. So my main MMO, I love it to death. I love the pacing. I think the tank class that I play Knight is super fun and engaging, and I love it. And I love that it's a slower paced game, and I love the old school mechanics. I love the corpse runs, but they're not devastating. You know what I'm saying? They're punishing, but it's not devastating. I like the game. I love it to death. I highly recommend it. I think for today, what we have to play, it's one of the best ones. If you like
Mr. C, that's what I'm talking about. Reverse half mermaid race where the head is a fish and the bottom is legs. That's what I want.
That's what I want to see. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So there you go, guys. We've discussed a lot. That is all I have. Now, don't forget that later tonight I will be going live on the Static Group Live on Twitch. We're playing Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. They did do the character wipes, so these are our real characters for the whole season now. We'll be going back into AVP, having some fun, so don't miss that. Hopefully I see Zucan over there on Twitch. Hopefully we'll be streaming some Monsters and Memories soon. I'm super excited about that. I have been talking to the devs of Eternal Tombs, which is another MMO in development. They did say they're going to get me in soon before the next closed beta and let me show it off exclusively and first. So literally very first showcase of Eternal Tombs is going to be here on my channel, on Twitch, and on YouTube. I don't have a date for that yet. But hopefully, I don't know when Just Let Me Play. I'm basically begging right now. I'm e-begging because I know one of the developers is over there on Twitch. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm begging you, please, we need to play Monsters and Memories, dude. We need to get in there. It's time. It's been too long. I'm sad. I'm sad about it.
I'm just going to watch Mazes and Monsters, I think, instead.
We need to get in there, dude. We need some more Monsters and Memories, real bad like. I need to get on, and we got to play some. He says, I'm sorry. He has no information yet. But it's coming, okay? One day, we'll be playing again. But yeah, I'll be playing Pantheon on this channel, on my channel, on Thursday. I got the rights to do that every Thursday for the rest of my life. Actually signed saying I have to play it every Thursday for the rest of my life until I die.
Dang, that's a hardcore, man.
I'm joking. Zukan holds all the power. He controls the servers by hand. I know.
Real quick before we end the stream, on Cringe Pony last time, we released Perv City USA, the album.
That's true.
And I just want to drop you guys the link just in case you missed that and you wanted to check it out. You can buy a digital copy of it, or you can just listen to it for free off the website. Enjoy.
Nice. Let me get that on Twitch. If you're interested in Perv City, the album, there it is. There's the link on Twitch as well. What's a realistic timeline for Monsters and Memories to come out? Let me tell you something, bro. I played this game with Pantheon, okay? And I don't want to do it again. I don't know. A few years. I don't want to put a date. I don't want to stamp a date on it because we did that game with Pantheon and it hurt them really bad that we were all sitting around being like, oh, I bet you it's going to be out by 2020, 2021. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
MMOs are just notoriously a pain in the ASS to make. You know what I mean? There's so many moving parts that are all connected to make a world that is, everybody can play in and that you're interacting with thousands of people on certain levels all the time. It's just so notoriously hard to make that, and it's an indie team, and they haven't even started taking money for it yet. You know what I'm saying? That I literally have no idea. I have no idea. But it does feel like it is quickly at a pace that possibly what we've seen so far, based on the knowledge that we have, it does seem like it's on a trajectory that's going to pass up Pantheon, is what it feels like. That's what it feels like. You were there for the Kickstarter for Pantheon, wore me down. Yeah, dude. Yep. So we'll see. I've been very impressed with how much content and how fast it seems that things are coming together, though. How many classes they have available, how many races they have available. That freaking Froglock we looked at earlier here on this show looks freaking tastic. Like I said, if they would have showed that and said, hey, this is EverQuest 3, it's the only thing we can show you, I would have been hyped up. I would have probably made 3 videos about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll see what happens with it, though. I'm excited for it, though. Monsters and Memories is going to be awesome. Absolutely love Monsters and Memories. They have my full faith. I lost that faith in Pantheon. 4 more years until EverQuest 3, supposedly. Well, thanks, everybody, for coming out. Come back for over on Twitch for Static Group Live. We'll be going live on that at 11 p.m. Central, 12 a.m. Eastern tonight. So don't miss that. And don't forget, we'll be streaming all week. But Wednesday night, midnight, it actually may release at 11 p.m. my time. The very second that Final Fantasy VII is live, I'm going live and playing Rebirth. So don't miss that. It's going to be a really fun time. We'll be nerding out over some Final Fantasy VII. And then Thursday, I have my Pantheon stream. Wednesday, we'll be doing our Embers Adrift stream with our group. And then Friday, I'll likely be doing Embers Adrift. Maybe. I may cancel this Friday's Embers Adrift just so I can do... because I got a lot of content to make on Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to need some extra time. So, I may have to cancel that. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for checking out our show.
Hope you enjoyed.
We appreciate you.
The Nathan and Steve Show. Goodbye, my friends.
Bye.